You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks! Welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, Thursday night live call-in show. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Wayne.
And tonight, Rob, you brought some special guests for us.
I don't know how much I brought them, but yes, we've got some guests, some special guests tonight.
Rob has brought some guests with us tonight in the house with us from Lightning Lake Games.
You got it.
Brandon and Will showing off their prototype copy of Breakers. Welcome, gentlemen, to the Beans and Dice studio.
Thank you.
Studio
It's good to
B
be
for
here.
Beans.
Yeah, B for beans, yeah.
I am the beaner.
There is no
I don't know if you can tell that yet.
Oh, yeah, he's the bean, I'm the dice, I'm the white guy.
He's the rice, white and salty.
Yeah, something like that.
Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Thank you for coming out.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
Making the drive here to Lutz, Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear you guys have met Rob at Dice Tower Retreat.
Well, we kind of missed each other at the retreat, or at the Dice Tower East, actually, is what it was. We were
Dice
supposed to
Tower
swing
East?
by. Yeah, Wayne and I had planned to go by. One thing led to another. It seemed like the demo times were a little tight there.
Yes, they
So
were.
We would play games during the day, and they'd be like, "Oh, we need to go hit those." Oh, the demo area's closed, so we missed you.
but y'all got to meet friends of the show, Mike and Tim from the Board Game Rundown.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I know Wayne has introduced us to the Board Game Rundown, and we've become fast friends with those folks from Indiana.
Yep.
And y'all were able to share your prototype with them. They recommended it as well. They told us we should check y'all out because you guys are from the Tampa area.
That's right.
So that's awesome. We are Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
all the way as north as like Wesley Chapel, all the way down to Friends in Pinellas. Our gaming group is pretty wide.
Yeah. Let me ask, are y'all native Floridians, or do y'all come from up north somewhere?
So I'm from Cleveland originally. I've been down here since 2016.
Cleveland. Nice. Okay.
And born and raised Tampa.
Wow.
Oh,
nice.
That is a rarity.
That is a rarity.
Yeah,
I don't find
yeah,
that
you
too
get
often.
My wife is born and raised Tampa. That doesn't happen often.
You're Floridian, but you're what? Miami?
Puerto Rican, Miami, Puerto Rico, Miami,
yeah.
and after Hurricane Andrew came to Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what brought me here.
Sweet.
So I was glad to have you guys. We love helping folks in our community with anything gaming wise, anything they have going on, helping support and building a really cool gaming community in the Tampa Bay area, because Tampa Bay, I think, has an awesome gaming community.
Oh, yeah. I tell people all the time.
We got some great stores like Armada Games. Back in the day, we had Merlin's Books over by University Mall. There's so many different game stores that we can go through. Tampa's had a great gaming history for me. So I'm glad to be here with you guys talking about Breakers, which is on the table right now. Breakers, we will get into this here, folks. We'll open up the phone lines here in just a little bit. But as we do on any episode whenever we have guests, I love to establish their credentials in why we should be listening to them about gaming. So I'm going to ask, and we can start with Brandon and then work our way to Will.
All right.
Are you now, or have you ever been a gamer, Brandon?
I am now and have always been a gamer.
Always.
Hey.
Born a gamer.
Yeah, I was born a gamer, so I think I have to say I'm a gamer because of my family. My mom was playing backgammon with me since I was young.
Okay.
I remember going to stay at my grandma and grandpa's and playing Rummy Cube for hours at a time. And actually, I think when I first played a game that blew my mind, though, was I was probably like 7, and I have this Uncle Egon. He's a cool guy.
Whoa.
He's a
Whoa, that's a
Ghostbuster.
cool
He's a
note.
Ghostbuster, and he's a cool guy.
All right, cool.
And he showed me Stratego.
Oh.
I
and
love
when-
Stratego.
and it just blew me away. And that was like the one thing. After that, it was Magic the Gathering right in the beginning, and the smell of that pack, and just the Star Wars, the original TCG, and we played Risk. And then back in the dark days of gaming, it was mostly TCGs and those sorts of things. And then from then, I started just collecting board games nonstop.
I don't know what that means.
You're in that hobby.
Well,
huh?
I had the idea that I was like, I'm going to have a collection that includes a game for everyone I could possibly meet. And that, there's a game for everybody, and I'm going to have something like that.
I think you pinpointed my problem.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You're trying to
Right,
please
like,
everybody?
It's not that I need a game in every mechanism or every designer or every publisher. Like, I feel like every game I can picture a person that I can play this with.
Right.
Tell yourself what you need to, but okay. Yeah.
And when people say, hey, I don't like games, I'm like, you just haven't found the game that
Yeah.
is the game for you. And so then I met Will, and we just game nonstop.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
How long do y'all go back?
3 years now?
Nice.
A couple more than that.
Yeah.
Time flies.
3 to 5.
Yeah.
Like that COVID time warp ruined
Yeah.
our time
Screwed up
perspectives.
everything. Yeah.
Now, our third partner in the company is my brother, and so
Okay.
we've been gaming our whole lives too.
Very cool. Welcome, welcome. Will, are you now or have you ever been a gamer?
I am a gamer. I don't know if I was my whole life. Definitely as a kid, we started off with Monopoly, things like that. Pulled into some of my grandparents' old board games. I couldn't tell you the name, but I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's got fake money. Not Monopoly, but it's something else. Moved into Risk with the neighborhood kids. We played that for hours. Stratego is also awesome. Kind of went and was actually introduced to Catan at some point and lost it with that one. It was amazing to me.
I don't know about you, but there was a guy named John who ran a shop called Anthem Games over on Hutchinson and Ehrlich.
Ehrlich. Yeah.
Yes, you remember that dude?
Oh yeah.
And he would do Catan tournaments on, I can't remember if it was like Tuesday nights or something. Dude, I was so hooked into that, just like doing the tournament scene.
Oh, Anthem Games is like that was the game store that got me into Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yeah.
Moved to Warhammer 40K from there. You know, after I'd play a game of Commander, I'd be like, "What's going on with this this game? It looks pretty sweet," you know. And cracked open my first rule book of that, and it was experience. Then BattleTech.
Oh, wait, BattleTech, the minis game, the card game, the
minis game.
RPG,
Yes.
Yes,
the minis game.
Got smoked the first time playing it, but it was a blast with the bringing me back to like the Mech Warrior video games. So it's like, I have
Yes.
a board game like for this is incredible. And then just as we went along with that, at Anthem I'd play just about any board game they had there. And people would bring a game in, and it's like, hey, I'll just sit down and learn this and kind of carry forward with that. Played a ton of Magic the Gathering. Kind of did some of those local tournaments. Did the Miami Grand Prix. That was fun.
Nice.
We
Then
still play Magic together.
we
Still
still
play,
do.
yeah.
Not as competitively anymore, but
Oh.
But I have a cube for every TCG I can think of.
Oh, really? Yeah, get them all, huh?
He said cube.
Gotta get 'em all.
And we all know the
Well,
exact
everybody
size of a
knows.
cube.
oh yes,
That is a unit of measurement in the board gaming community.
Yeah.
for sure.
I couldn't get into the Magic
I never
piece,
did either. Mhm.
not because I didn't love the game. I had the game. I had decks. I had the rule books printed out. Like every rule book, every FAQ, I would always print them because, like I said, I was early in the show. I was telling y'all about before the show that I was into some printing. So I made sure that I always had like nicely printed rule books every time they published a rule book because I loved it. But I didn't want to get myself lost in the money, like the money aspect of
It
it.
goes fast.
Yes. So I was more about like, okay, I'm going to build 4 well-balanced decks and I'll manage those 4 decks and play that with people like a board game.
That's why Cube works for the best format, because you have a board game forever.
Yes.
With all it's like the all-stars of the TCGs.
Oh, so it sounds like we have a lot of history in common when it comes to gaming, which I think is something most gamers do. So because I was establishing your history today, right? So we do this thing where we do our top 20 games played in the year, and it really helps the folks at home watch organically, as Rob would say.
Organically.
Watch our taste in gaming throughout the year, like what goes up and down on this board. If y'all had to say, like top 2 games played this year, like for the folks at home to know what your current taste is.
And knowing that you've been pouring your I'm sure a lot of your attention, most of your life into breakers, but when you've had a chance to play games, assuming
Top
you are still
2?
gaming.
Yeah, like
and
what
you
are
go,
your favorite
one or
2
or,
games that you're playing right now?
You want to go first?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So definitely really have enjoyed toy battles. It's very fun. Sometimes I don't have a ton of time, but that's one, you can get a couple games in
Oh, yeah.
in like 30, 45 minutes. And it's
A
really
couple? How slow are you playing, bro? You get a couple in 10 minutes tops.
I was playing it, all of a sudden 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, it's over.
I've done that. Although I've had a couple 30-minute games. Yeah.
But
so,
and then so toy battles for sure I've really enjoyed a lot. I did play Arcs, and that was a lot of fun.
I haven't played that yet. I want to play that. Yeah.
Then Roth is really good too. So
A lot of people were playing that at the Dice Tower retreat. I saw that was all
Yes.
over. Yep. Haven't played that one yet either.
So Trick Takers, it sounds like you're getting into Arcs, playing in that Trick Takers world. It's not going to be a surprise for anyone at home who's watching. Breakers is going to be a trick-taking game. Are you a Trick Taker fan, Will?
I've become one. I wouldn't say I was a diehard trick taker from the beginning. Certainly have played euchre.
Okay, I got introduced to euchre at my office. Some guy from Michigan, and that's because I grew up playing trick takers, but in Puerto Rico we played brisca. I think the Italians call it briscola. So that's something that my family grew up played. So I love trick takers. So it sounds like you've played a lot of good ones.
Oh yeah,
they're very cool. Brandon, what are you playing now? What are your top games?
I think my favorite game right now is Zenith.
Zenith.
It's a 2-player game where you're pushing these discs. It's like a tug of war game that includes currency, hand management, and combos, and it's really awesome. It's a 2-player game, so you have to make sure you have the right person, but it's a really cool, really unique design. It's I think it's by the guys who did Castle Combo.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's a deep one.
I mean that game. I love that game. I think we played Roth for the first time, and I was really happy with that game. I love Ra. I think my favorite game of all time is Cosmic Encounter, though. If I had to pick one.
Hear that, Wayne? He likes Ra.
Yeah, I mean, Ra's a good game. I would agree. It's good.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I think we've done like half a game of Cosmic Encounter.
Half?
Yeah, we played at CMON.
We were at CMON in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
The last time they did it in
7
Atlanta.
years ago, yeah.
And we're about halfway through the game, and they say, "Hey, we're closing down the gaming area." I'm like, "It's 9 o'clock. What are you talking about?"
We didn't even know they closed the gaming area. We thought it was an all-nighter, but
we were wrong.
So we had to pack up. But that was fun. Yeah, I liked it.
Zenith. I pulled it up here on BGG. Am I looking at the right one?
This
I
game
know
is
the
awesome.
game. Yep,
This
I do
is
know
it.
it.
This is it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
If you like
Got an
tight
8.0.
2-player games, this is the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's flying up the ranks pretty quick.
This year, 2025. Yeah. This
Players struggle to get control of the solar system. All right, this is going to have to go on the list. What are some of the mechanisms in this that you like?
I would say, so it's hard to describe. It's really a hand management game.
Yeah.
Resources too.
Resource and hand management. And you're getting discounts based on how long your column is and what you're trying to do. The abilities alter those planet discs, and you're trying to meet the win condition by getting a combination of those.
Is there a tug of war thing going here?
That's the main mechanism. It's awesome.
That kind of reminds me.
And it feels
Battle
like,
line.
Battle line. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it feels like nothing you've played, really. There's really nothing to compare it to.
Cool.
All right, I'm in on this one. This is, oh man, I'm in trouble. 2020. Okay, when we look back, I really think we're going to look back at 2025 as like a banger of a year when it comes to board games. Like that, I told myself this year, this is the year I stopped buying games. But like every time I turn around, like something, Toy Battles comes out, Battle of Hoth comes out. Like the game, Asmodee knows how to get my money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We've talked though about. I know Wayne kind of agreed with me on this though. Like when we looked at the Dice Tower Awards and some of the award shows and things, there's not one game that really stood out this year. There were a bunch of good games. But SETI, I guess, won a bunch of stuff at Dice Tower Awards, but that really was a release from the year before, so it was kind of on that borderline, so they snuck it in. But yeah, I mean, lots of good games.
It's been a good year.
Radlands 22.
Oh, I think so. We got the BGG right here.
Yeah,
Usually right here somewhere, but yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, I think the
Tell me you're a Radlands fan.
I'm obsessed.
I need a friend to play with.
Oh yeah, Redlands is good.
21.
21.
I got my Cultachrome up there, so I haven't busted that out yet. But I had the original like starter, like the basic like set,
the non-synth cards,
right?
Yeah.
Just the basic, like it was a beautiful $20 box, effectively.
Right.
But then wifey got me the full deluxe for Father's Day, and I played it at Daytona when I went camping. I took it with me for the races and played it all week with my buddy Mike. Like it's just good. It's a great game. I don't have other friends that want to play it.
It's okay.
It's okay. All right, so let's get into this because phone lines will open up soon. We brought you guys here. Great setup. Y'all are officially established gamers. Like we
Got your cred.
experts established.
Yep.
Let's talk about what you guys are doing that we, Robert and I, have never had the courage to do, which is publish our own game.
Oh no. Yeah.
Tell us about what brought you here.
All right. So I think it was about, we were at Origins. My brother and I and a bunch of friends were at Origins, I want to say 2 years ago, about maybe just over a year ago, right? Almost 2.
Right.
And when I came home, I mean, we've been gaming so hard and so much that when I came home, I was like, you know what? What if I made a game with the philosophy of we want to make games that people can play? And what I mean by that, it's kind of a joke because if you have one of these closets or these rooms where you want to play everything and you want to get everything out, and in a lot of games there's a lot of barriers to entry. And so I thought, what can we do? And I called Will and I was like, hey, what if we made a game that had a base mechanism of a trick-taking game, but was more than just a trick-taking game? Not to knock on them, but to say, like, could we build a game on top of a trick-taking mechanic? And he said,
how about a monster hunting trick-taking game where every monster alters the style of trick-taking?
I feel like you were holding that in your pocket for a very long time.
Honestly, sitting on that idea. Yeah.
Not really.
I don't think that just flows out.
Yeah.
I was
He's got-
sitting on the
he's got a-
couch and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? There we go. That's an idea.
Because I got to be honest, Rob told me about you guys, right? So for the folks who watch, they know this is my house. Like, y'all have heard my kids crying. He's like, hey, I got these guys. I'm going to bring them over to your house. We're going to talk about this game. I'm like, Rob.
Not quite like that.
What are you talking about? Like, this is chaos. Like, are you gonna need to be strapped or something? Like, we don't even know these people. Like, this is Florida, man. And then I said, tell me about this game. And he starts with, it's a dungeon crawling trick taking game. And I'm like, okay, stop, we're in.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, wifey, heads up.
I wasn't 100%
Some strangers
on
are
point,
coming.
but it was close. Yeah, not so much
I
dungeon
mean-
crawling, but go ahead, Wayne.
I'm saying Carlos invites strangers over his house all the time. It's all good.
Yeah. Don't let him fool you. Yeah.
There have been many different people who put their feet under this table. Like, it's just, I'm that kind of guy.
And bang their knees on this table.
I cut it short,
He cut the
so-
legs off because it was too tall, and then he cut it too short. So now, if you're banging your knees, that's the reason.
That's my fault.
You cut the legs down.
But we had to, his little arms can't reach on a tall table.
That's why. Now you're gonna blame it on me. All right, nice. All right, I got
His
you.
T-Rex arms. But when you said like monster fighting, dungeon crawling, like trick taking game, like my heart like skipped a beat. Like, okay, how come nobody's come up with that before?
Well, let me ask you about Monster Hunting. Obviously, there's the wildly popular game out there, Monster Hunter, the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Was that any kind of thought, or was that that's completely separate?
No, not really.
Okay,
I
all right.
haven't played the Monster Hunter for years.
Okay.
But
When you say Monster Hunter, that's where I jump to. That's the big thing. So,
Yeah.
but cool. Anyway, yeah.
cryptids,
Okay.
mythological beast, all of that. It's probably I was watching Supernatural maybe 2 years ago, and I was like, I haven't seen a board game out there where you're hunting specific cryptids or monsters. So
Cool.
And the name Breakers it's a type of hunter that hunts magical creatures or monsters. That's what a breaker is.
Ah.
Is that fantasy that y'all had created for the game, or is that
No,
something?
that's actually what a breaker is.
That's
I love it.
established.
I love
Yeah.
when you use established like terminology or history or other lore that's already out there, because it's easier to kind of jump in. Like, I struggle when a game has its own complete system and their own codification and words and taxonomy for their type of fantasy. No, thank you for keeping it
So-
simple.
And that's what I'm
With
saying.
that-
Sorry, I was just saying, in the world of fantasy and even just history of the world, there's like the term breakers. It's like instead of creating your own, just do a little research, and there's like you could really just use real life examples of a lot of this stuff, which is good. I like that. Like you're using.
Keep it token-esque, right?
yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
right.
Isaac Childers, get it together. Get it together, Isaac Childers.
And what we try to do uniquely with the theme of our game is, because these are not just regular creatures, these are monstrous versions of every type of creature. You need special magical types of hunters. And our artist is Justin Gerard, and he is the best at drawing monsters. And we just let him design the monsters because he's so good at it. But the only thing we try to ask is that, like, for example, we have a vampire. And the only thing we wanted to make sure was that this is a monstrous version of a vampire. It's not just a guy in a cloak.
Not just another vampire.
Right,
yeah.
like, so every type of monster we have is a little bit extra to give you that idea that you really need to really bring it to take these things down.
Nice.
And along with that, the art style is hand drawn.
Yeah, that was the first thing Carlos mentioned when we pulled up the page. He was like, "Man, I like that art." And I was like, "Yeah, it's like a pencil art."
That's
so
right.
that,
And it's on purpose because the idea is they're cryptids. And so no one can really prove they've seen them. So the hunters are drawing them from their memory
Okay.
in their ledgers or in their books.
Darwin-esque, like just
That's right.
sketching
Exactly.
in
That's
your journal as you come across them. I like it.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah.
Now, Rob said something about y'all will be leaving a prototype for us to demo out.
Mess around with, yeah.
But I definitely like to set up a day when it's time to pick it up, because it sounds like this. Or looking at it, it's a 2 to 4 player game, and we like trick takers, but we find that 2 player trick takers aren't as good.
Robust,
like
yeah.
as robust.
is the
Yeah.
right-
I'd like to get this played with more players, and having you guys play one day would be great.
Unless you can convince us also why it's great at 2 players.
So I'll let Will talk about 2 players
Yeah,
because he's
yeah.
the one who really took the lead on that to convince us to make it, and I think
Nice.
I think he did it on it. So you could.
Yeah, so I mean, as you hit it on the head, trick takers with 2 players is really tough. Something unique about our game, obviously, is that each monster you're encountering is going to have a different set of rules, different set of abilities. So it's not going to be that standard. A trick-taking game typically has a set mechanic that influences it for that whole game. And if it's 2 players without that third player doing more interaction to it, it can grow stale. The beauty in it, and it's still not like it's going to be with 3 or 4 players, but if the variety in having monster after monster after monster, so up to a total of 6 monsters in a 2-player game, you're going to see a lot of interaction. You're going to see a lot of different abilities because each one's completely different. And then once you start defeating monsters, now you've got its special power you can use in the later rounds. So now you're getting that more 2-player interaction where you're kind of saying, okay, you might have played this, but now you've also got to contemplate, am I going to use my ability? Am I going to put equipment, to kind of mess with the perceived strategy?
So I'll give you a rundown of just the slight differences in each version. So in 4 players, all the suit cards are dealt. There are 4 suits. There's melee, ranged, traps, magic, represented by these breakers on each of the cards. And you deal 12 cards out to each player. You're going to roughly play, in most monsters, 10 tricks. That's a full round. The monsters do alter some of the round mechanics also. So 4-player game, all the cards are on the table. 3-player game, you have 4 hidden cards. And in 2 players, what you're doing is you're going to draw a hand of 10, and each time you play cards, at the end of the round, you're drawing back up to max hand size, so that way you still have some hidden knowledge to be able to work back and forth.
Okay, I was
with
going to
2
ask if there's like a dummy player or anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so it just works. And my favorite version of this game is actually teams,
Really?
because you really it's the euchre style. You really need to know how to set your teammate up, and there's so many mechanics that interact with each other that now you have another tool. Instead of just trying to win a trick for yourself, you're trying to set up with your abilities and your equipment on how to alter the cards and the monsters, and that's a really awesome way to play.
I don't know if you folks at home caught when Brandon said play as teams. Rob gave the really. He doesn't play well with others, but when it comes to trick takers, I'm
trick takers
all
is-
about
no, I'm good with
that
that.
team play.
Yeah.
awesome.
Like that's where the joy comes in, because just the stories can come from that. Like, bro, you didn't see where I was headed with that. Like the fact that you have a team aspect to it, it makes it great.
So
I know, like The King is Dead by Peter Silverman. I can't even pronounce it. I remember Rob played it. It's meant to be a team game. They played 4 players individually because I think they preferred it that way.
Well, I don't think we knew what we were doing, and we liked it that way. But anyway.
So it seems like
Team.
in the 2-player and then in base 4-player, it's all fully cooperative sort of trick taker. But then you could also play 2 versus 2 as far as teams, or is it all?
So there's no actual cooperative mode. When you play
Okay.
teams, the way you win is so normally you win by being the first player to win 3 monsters or beat 3 monsters.
Okay.
In a team variant, it's the team that wins a total of 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Nice.
All right, so walk us through some of the tell the folks at home, give your elevator pitch on why Breakers. So we learned a little bit about you guys and how you got here, a little bit about the game, and I know you gave some lore to it. And much like Rob and I, you talked a story,
Yeah.
and then we came to Brandon, and he gave us mechanisms.
I'm mechanisms guy. He's story guy. Yeah, for sure.
Tell us a little bit about the game. Sell this game. Tell us why we should back this thing, because it is on Kickstarter right now. 203 backers, 20,000, a little over 20,000, and 20 days to go. Let's see. How can we share this with the folks at home?
All right.
I've
So
already posted it once in the chat, and we have it on our Discord, and we can post it in the show notes as well.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks,
yeah,
Wayne.
Thank you.
My engineer.
So breakers, we've kind of talked about some of the mechanics, but it's unique in that you've got different ways to play from 2-player, 3-player, 4-player. That's kind of where you're all playing against each other. You've got teams, and it's every game's going to be different. 21 monsters. We actually put up a stretch goal for another monster created by the community, but those monsters allow such a variety because with that you've got an ability, a win condition, and then a monster power. So you're not guaranteeing what monster you're going to hit first. That can alter how people are going to play on the second one. And, those powers then start comboing up against, each other. So you're kind of building the tactics as you go along. And thematically, that's kind of where we went with it is you're a hunter on a journey, right? And as you're growing, you're grabbing more equipment, you're becoming stronger. And then that final battle against the other hunters to claim your third trophy is really epic. And you can feel it as you play along each single game. And I've play tested this for hundreds of hours, and I still don't get sick of it. So
Nice.
it's a lot of fun.
How's the balance, right? Because we're talking about monsters not only being the win condition for that trick, but also having a reward, right, for winning the monster. How does that balance out over the life of that match, of that play? When Rob gets to kill the cool monster that gives him the cool powers, but Carlos is still like hanging on to that goldfish he slaughtered.
Right. So that's what we have is these equipments. Each player isn't left behind. So, if Rob goes ahead and takes the Phoenix and has this super cool monster ability to use.
Which we call trophy.
Right.
Trophy? Okay.
Everyone else will get equipment. And those equipment you can save for when you really want to go all in to try and win a monster. They add a +1 to your card's value. So, you can kind of save it. Everyone will play their cards as standard, following suit. At that point, it changes to what we have that's unique in Breakers is the action phase. That's where people can use their equipment, their trophy abilities, and you kind of only get a once a round. So it starts with the lead player. Once you pass, you don't get to go back and do anything else. That's where the player politics kind of go in, the strategy really, and what you're playing, what you're trying to maybe bait out in equipment or that monster power or trophy rather. And that's what makes it very unique.
The other thing to add about the trophies is we spent a lot of time designing and balancing where we wanted to go. And we've had a lot of debates about this because as we teach new players over the last year, people will argue about what power is good or not. And I will assure you, they're all good, but it depends on the puzzle you're trying to solve. But they're not instant win type of things. They require circumstances. They require situations, and they all have drawbacks depending on what the power is.
It's kind of like what one of your favorite games you talked about, Cosmic Encounters. Like when everybody's complaining about everybody else's power, then it's balanced,
Yeah.
right? If everyone feels like everyone else's power is broken, now we know we're balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the thing I like most about Breakers is that it's really like a homage to all of the things in gaming my entire life that I love, all put together. And it reminds me a lot about Cosmic Encounter as far as alien powers and that balance and the back and forth. And depending on the circumstance, is yours good now or not, for sure.
Now, there is a co-op version of this, right? Or is it just team?
Just team.
Team.
Okay, so it's always going to be a winner and a loser.
Yes.
Very good.
Good. I like winners and losers.
Yeah, well, we also do like the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game, which is full co-op. Just saying, Rob likes that too.
Yeah.
And then we also like the Crew, both the submarine version and the deep space version. So there's nothing wrong with cooperative trick-taking.
I like my co-op.
Just
Yeah.
like establishing that
I
here.
just don't like semi-co-op. That's my worst. That gets my goat. That's another.
You gotta go
story.
full on or none.
One or the
Full-on
other.
competitive game right here.
And I don't know as much about the game as I probably should, but I know there's something here with a day and a night or
Some of the monsters' abilities use what we call day and night to trigger different things. So just the overview of the game is you reveal the monster, you deal everybody 12 cards, you play a trick, then you do your action phase, resolve. That's it. Easy to get into, easy to learn, as long as you understand trick-taking mechanisms.
Sure.
Right. So that takes a lot of time to teach people who don't know. And like Will pointed out, if you have equipment and other trophies out, the monsters feel different because, for example, like this vampire, when an 8 is played or a value is changed to an 8, the day and night switches.
Okay.
And what you're trying to do is, in this case, you're being the person who has the most tricks won during the day. So all of them are, we're attempting to thematically tie the mechanisms together. And so you would track that. So if someone plays, it starts at day, and if someone plays an 8, at one point you would just put to mark it as night, so you know, and then it goes back and forth throughout the whole trick.
Cool. Yeah.
As you flip this new monster, this vampire we're looking at, I got to admit, this art is nice. Let me show this to the folks at home to see if I can get it up on camera here. So, Wayne, I want you to see that.
Yep,
it's
looks
pencil
good.
art,
Yeah,
but, man,
love
that
it.
is good.
The detail is really cool because you can
And look
like
at this.
even through the camera at a distance, you can see the detail.
Through a sleeve, too.
Yeah, through a
Yeah,
sleeve.
so I'm trying to get the light to not shine. But at the end of the day, this is no sparkly vampire. Like,
Nope.
they are not, this is not Twilight.
Not Twilight? No.
No.
That's exactly what we said too. We're like, Edward Cullen is not.
Oh, yeah. These are a little more fierce. So, yeah, that's cool.
All right, and I know with these smaller games, it's tough to get like real deep into them because they are these quick to learn, hard to master type games. But I'm looking forward to getting at least a few matches with Rob,
yeah.
and then maybe with multiple players on. We thank you so much for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah.
And want to now open up the phone lines. It is now 9:30. We will open up the phone lines for the folks at home to call in and ask questions or change the topic. It don't matter. You know how it works. When you call in, the show is yours for the next 10 minutes. 813-618-7099 is the number. With us tonight are Brandon and Will from Lightning Lake Games. We're talking about their game, Breakers.
This is your opportunity to talk to game designers. We've had designers on the show before, and we've had participation. So definitely this is your chance. If you have questions about the process for making games, the process for running this whole thing, you're currently, as we mentioned, we'll continue to mention on Kickstarter. If people are interested in the process on how you get into Kickstarter and the pluses and minuses, because we've now got other platforms out there where I guess that's something we probably can touch on in just a minute, but this is your opportunity to call and ask these guys questions. So they're going to be on the show here for about another 15 to 30 minutes, maybe-ish. And I think we got a caller coming in.
Let me see if I can figure out how to answer this bad boy.
Yeah,
Did I miss
on that
that
one, did
fat
you?
finger
All right.
it?
Whoever called, please call again. So we'll make sure we get it right next time. But yeah, I think you
Disappeared before I hit it.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay.
I'll let it happen
Yeah.
again. Call
right
in
back,
again.
please. Yeah.
When it comes to the game, we're gonna want to learn about the process too. That'll be a big part of our
Yeah, I was
conversation. I hope.
going to get into it. Say like, can you? I mean, we could talk about from the beginning all the way through the process, but I'm always fascinated. Like, you had that initial idea. Then what was the first prototype like? How did you get from first prototype to, actually printing out, and cutting out cards and doing art? And then I always love to hear about how you get into demo tables. Like, how did you get the demo table with Dice Tyrese? What was that process like? Origins, and what was your experience like at the various conventions you've gone through demoing the game? Like, what was the hits? What was the drawbacks? What were the advice that you would give to others?
So in the very early stages, I just made cards on PowerPoint, and we would print them out, and then I put it on Tabletop Sim as just cards, and we would design them in these slides and update them there, and I had all these files and all this. And so eventually we moved over to Canva, which is very user-friendly, and we converted there, and we used an awesome prototyping tool. And this is a shout-out to Dextros. It is awesome. If you ever want to make a prototype, both either printed or on Tabletop Sim, Dextros is the way to go. And so I converted everything over to that, and we had a Tabletop Sim running. We got our art in. It looked very close. Now, early on, we were drawing like silly little pictures or just typing, and we had so many renditions of icons and art that just transformed over the time. But once you got into tabletop and you could learn how to use those tools, it changes everything. And we just sat for hours and played. And in the very first version of the game, we thought that the win condition would be who survived the longest. So you would have health, and the monsters would trigger damage or that. And then we played it, and it was terrible. And so what we did was every time we did something in this game, we asked ourselves this simple question: is that fun? Right? are we rewarding people for doing the things they want to do in this game? How can we make it fun? And that's how I think we got to the best version now. But even at Origins, we had a prototype that we had a number of them printed on, professional quality cards, not what they will be in their final form. But those of you who are at Origins know we had old icons that were more clip art in the center of the cards. And people were like, hey, the monster art is awesome and we want more of that. So that's when we said, okay, we're going to have to really take the plunge here and have our artist make characters to give it more life and more consistency. And so there was so much feedback, so many people. We got to the point where we were playing this thing so many times that we would have already heard a version of the feedback, and we had to start like keeping it in a ledger to triage it in a way to be like, yeah, we know they're going to say this. Here's the answer. Here's the way to think about it. Or what you find a lot of times when you play test is people want to change the game so they just win.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, it'd be awesome.
I know somebody like that.
Is if I could just play this card and be done.
That's
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be awesome in this game if I could use my equipment as many as I want on my card when I want. Like, so we had to start sorting out what was, actionable and what was just people giving us comments, and there was a lot of that over the year.
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where you're calling from.
This is Ron Frazier from Atlanta.
Hey, Ron. How
My
are
man.
And it turns out the phone, it is on.
Oh,
See,
yeah, it is on. Yeah, the phone is on.
I
this
will
time.
say sometimes, most of the time, it's on me.
Yeah.
I just don't think you were there when I hit the answer. But this is the first caller of the night. We're going to put it on the board.
Yes, there we go. All right, teamwork. What's going on, Ron? What you up to?
So this game sounds interesting to me. I'm trying to be mindful of the money that I spend on Kickstarter for games.
Yep.
But this sounds pretty cool. I thought it was interesting in the discussion of feedback and determining what feedback is valuable to you at what stage in the design of the game. It's really important to have made that distinction. I imagine that these guys learn these lessons along the way.
We're still learning.
Still learning. Yeah. Just got Kickstarted, a couple weeks ago?
1 week.
1 week ago.
Just over a week, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, the game sounds really interesting to me.
Now, Ron, I will say, Ron, it's in your ballpark, right? When Ron does this segment on the Board Game Breakfast with Dice Tower, games under $20. But I think with inflation, he's moved it up to 30.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So I think it's in that price range.
It was 30. It was 30 and up to 35.
There you go.
Okay, 30 to 35.
Yeah, them tariffs.
Yeah.
We had to bring it up.
It's not easy.
Let me ask, Ron. I haven't known you to be a Trick Taker fan. We played.
He introduced us to diamonds, bro.
Well, he introduced you to diamonds. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I've played games with you. I've never played a Trick Taker with you, but go ahead. Okay. I just wanted to see what your trick taking cred was.
All right. That's okay. I'm not super big on trick taking games, but I really like a number of them. Right. Like, I grew up in a trick taking card playing household, even though I wasn't that great. We had a little space going on growing up in the house in the neighborhood.
Nice.
So I've always been familiar with the concept. So when I actually learned a trick taking game that was with rules that were consistent and made sense, like, diamonds was the thing, like that really hit. And then when I learned about the crew, like now we're really cooking. We have a co-op game, which I like co-op games, and a trick taker, which is great. So it's like the best of both worlds for me. So I wanted to add, so the hit point thing, I find that really fascinating because it seems like, and this is a question for the designers, was that a thing that you just assumed that since you were having a fantasy dungeon crawler game that you were just going to have in it?
Yeah, so it's a great question. Reality, it was more of like when we were thinking about monster hunting and moving through with it, it was more of like, well, it's hunting these mythical beasts is obviously going to be a game of attrition. And with that, you're hunters, you're going to suffer from these massive attacks that they're obviously going to be doing. So we first thought, trick, like with the trick taking, health points, it kind of would put an end on it. Players are going to obviously lose all of their health, and then the game would be over, and there's typically one left standing that would be crowned the winner. So we just kind of thought about it as like thematically they're battling. However, we play tested it a bunch, like a ton with the life, and what we found is eventually like it would be just the first monster or the second monster you're wanting to play more, but then everyone in the group's already lost all of their hit points, and we want people
TPK.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of ruins the party.
Exactly.
Also, I mean, I had this light bulb moment where we were dreading it, and we wanted to have exciting moments. We wanted to be like, we did this thing that won the monster, and the monster is the bad guy, so it alters the game, but in a fun way. But it's still sort of like, oh, there's that groan moment when it's revealed. But then we wanted to feel good about winning the monster and using its power, and so turning it into how can you beat it rather than how you can survive it, and then just the hit points just didn't make those magical moments where you're like, yes, I want to do this thing.
Right. It's interesting because I'm glad you guys made that really made that connection, right? Like, because the last thing I want to be in a co-op game, unless it really synergizes with the rest of the way the game works. I don't want to be having a sense of dread,
Right?
In my co-op game. I want tension. I don't want dread. I don't want, while everybody else is down to 1 hit point, and I got 20 still. That doesn't feel awesome.
No, for sure.
And this will happen in this game too. If players have 2 monsters each, it's gonna end, and then you have that tension of who's gonna get that last monster. It isn't someone sitting out. Now, what do you do with that person? So that the game continues to play and roll through the end.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, you actually, when someone's at 2 monsters, I mean, because the win conditions to get to 3 trophies, you'll see other players at the table start going, hey, well, I might use my monster power on this.
I was wondering about teaming up and King of the Hill, and
a little bit of that,
Okay,
which
yeah.
it's fun. It's entirely dependent upon your play group,
Sure.
what everyone is comfortable with. But sometimes you're like, I might, if I can just let this person win, I've got a chance in the next round.
I just try to stab him from the start, so that's just take him right out of the game.
If you don't like king-making elements, though, that's why the teams variant is awesome, because that's gone.
Yeah, nice.
Nice. I mean, really, those are the only questions I had about the game.
Yeah.
What topics do you have for us?
I don't think I really have anything new. I was just calling to see what you guys were talking about, and
My man Ron came in clutch last week. Last week I was alone. Rob was at Dice Tower Retreat. Wayne was with family. NFL had started, so I was all alone. My man Ron called in, and we hung out for about 38, almost 40 minutes, just chatting about board games the whole time. So thank you, Ron, for always coming in clutch.
yeah, that was a fun conversation. Like, my focus has been on my 2 role-playing game sessions I'm running here. I'm running one tomorrow night online, and I'm having an in-person session at my house on Saturday. So, like, there hasn't been much in the way of thinking about board games this week.
Yeah, still getting some Super Show in.
Oh, and I mean, I always get Super Show in.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
I mean, I play tested the solo mode for it, so I play it solitaire like every night.
Nice.
So
Wait,
right now I'm actually sorting cards.
Hang on, Ron. There's a solitaire mode
coming now.
Yeah. So there's a Mucha Lucha themed collaboration with Eddie Moore called Super Lucha, which is shipping to the backers now, and will be on GameFound imminently. And with that Kickstarter, we made a stretch goal to make a solo mode for it, and I play tested the solo mode. So while everybody else is waiting for the trials and stuff, I've been playing the solo mode for the past year by myself, every night.
I like it.
Nice.
I never play solo games unless I do.
Yeah, until
which
you
is
do.
a lot of times.
Much more recently, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so I love solo games too, which that's another thing, another direction I need to go with some of my stuff.
Nice.
But,
Well, as
yeah,
always, Ron, we appreciate you calling in, making it a call-in show. Caller number 1 this week.
Yep, as always, I enjoyed the conversations, and hopefully we get some other people calling in to ask these gentlemen questions about the game or just to chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron. Have a good evening.
All right.
That's our buddy Ron Frazier from Atlanta. Great guy. We got to meet him at Dice Tower Retreat. I think he was down at one of the retreats, and he was down at Dice Tower East. It's not too far from us. So.
Become a good friend of the show. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
So
check
talk
out
about
Ron. Yeah, Ron Talks Tabletop. So I always got to put that out there. So check him out on. Got the YouTube channel. He's on. What's the main? Is it Tweeter? One of those things. I'm old.
You're so old.
He's on YouTube and
YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's on the gram.
Yeah, there you go. On the gram. Sure.
So the you've gone through the iterations of the game, and then you started printing it, and then I guess at what point did you decide we're going to try to publish this game, or did you think about maybe pitching it to publishers?
I don't, honestly, I don't think we ever really said, we're going to do a pitch it. We came up with it. We were able to get demo versions printed, and we kind of started reaching out to the community. Obviously, if people don't enjoy it, then we're like, okay, we'll hit the drawing board. But we received just an overwhelming positive response. So from there, we were like, you know what? Let's go to Gen Con. Let's go to Dice Tower. Let's meet with people. Let's just.
We did not go to Gen Con. Origins.
Origins.
Gen Con's the future.
Yeah, that's been, yeah. I've never been there, but yeah.
But
Gen Con's fun.
Yeah, we were not going to pitch it. I think from the very early stages, we were going to just go as far as this thing could go.
Just your baby, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
And the goal was to make the best game we could, and we didn't know what would happen, right? So we just kept saying, hey, here's the next version. Here's the next card. Here, we're going to get rid of this monster. We're going to do this thing. And we just kept building on top of it, and it just started picking up momentum. And I think I had this moment where you usually, when you rely on your friends and family to try stuff out and help you or play things, you think they're just going to say, oh, that's nice. Well, what started to happen to me is I have a lot of friends who are not gamers, but they kept saying, can we play Breakers? Can you bring Breakers over? I'm like, okay, let's put a timeout on Breakers. Let's play Dune Imperium.
Good call.
Right, like that wasn't happening, and they kept asking to play. So I knew, I was like, there's something about this for new gamers to get them in to see, like, here's the magic. Here's how you feel that feeling when you're like, that light bulb goes off. So that's why we kept play testing it and getting new people to try it. We had hardcore like Magic judges try it and tell us what they thought, and we just kept going.
Well, now that you mentioned that, I never thought about it, but this could be pardon the kind of pun here, a bridge to board gaming. I mean, because you've a lot of Americans, a lot of people grew up playing spades or hearts or rummy or whatever at their house and are familiar with the ideas of trick taking. This obviously takes it to another level. This makes it more of a gamification of that, and a more some complexities and some powers and abilities and all that kind of stuff. This could be kind of the next step to introduce people who are only used to playing those classic trick-taking type games into bridging into maybe the board game world, the board game hobby. So, yeah.
And it's really cool when the mechanics come together and your friends notice them without you telling them.
Yeah.
And they're moving the pieces around and you're like, oh, there's an out here.
They got it.
And they find it and you're like, okay, we did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's
You
cool.
see the line to win, and you're like, are they going to do it? And all of a sudden they get it. And
Light bulb goes on.
Oh,
It's
it's sweet.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice. So was Origins this year sort of like the big coming out for the game, or had
Yeah.
you bring it to other? Yeah.
So
Talk-
that was the
talk
first
about, like,
convention.
Yeah. How did you get in touch with Origins? How did you get it there? And then talk about your experience demoing a game at convention of 20, 30,000 people.
Yeah, so I have to say, my brother is the most enthusiastic version of us here, and he made that happen. He was like, "We're flying in, we're doing this thing." He got all the signups. I think we had like 200 signups. We didn't have a booth. We had a demo scenario, so we just ran games for 8 hours a day, and we have this demo set of monsters, which is 5 with the real art, and then we let people play the rest, and we just. We're grinding games of breakers and teaching new people in that loud room over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wild. It was exhilarating. And then also, look, when you put art into the world, you're gonna get your feelings hurt.
Yes.
And you have to be able to. We had these 3-way calls where we're like, look, this isn't personal. This is feedback. This is what the fact that people are telling us and want more of this thing, we can use that. And so how can we make things that are appropriately changeable? But look, not everyone's going to like what something looks like, or not everyone's going to like a certain thing. And I think we had a lot of practice at Origins to be able to do that. It was very exhausting, but really rewarding. And I think we proved to people that this thing is real, and it's awesome. And I think, if I just want to add, we had so many moments where you had like classic trick-taking veterans come to the table and they're suspicious. They're like, you got monsters in a trick-taking game, right? And so they
Ready to not like it. Yeah.
and this happened at Dice Tower. To jump ahead a little bit, we played with a woman who was like an expert trick-taker, and every time a monster would reveal, she would giggle and then totally annihilate us. Every
It was
time.
awesome.
She would just destroy us in our own game,
Yeah.
and she
Right.
loved
Nice.
it. And like she got because every monster ability is a play on a version of a trick-taking mechanic. So if you can see like what we're doing here.
Sure.
Like, I've played this game before.
Oh yeah. So the conventions
Nice.
were, I have to say, going to play games at a convention is preferable because you get to play and just going here to show the world that you have this thing and you're putting it out there feels a lot different than going to Origins and playing for 22
So
hours.
at Origins, you have 200 people sign up. You have people coming in and playing it. Was there something from Origins that changed from Origins to when you went live on Kickstarter? Like, was there feedback that actually helped change the game? Yeah.
definitely.
Oh yeah, the whole
Because feedback is tough, right? Because
Yeah.
you guys
I was going to go there.
You
Yeah.
guys are practicing and training and selling. Like, you guys are working to sell this game.
Right.
But the people that are playing your game, they're not practiced in giving feedback. So like you said, hey, it's not personal, but you know what? That last one sure felt personal.
Well,
like,
Yeah.
we had a couple people just tell us like, your game's ugly,
Yeah.
and I
Right.
was like, oh, okay, well,
you just
well,
kicked my baby.
Well,
Yeah.
but here's the thing: if it's ugly, okay, but is there something we could do to make it less ugly? That's constructive,
Mhm.
because there's a subjective quality. But so I think the biggest change we had, even after Dice Tower, was we made a lot of graphic design things to just really make it pop a little bit more. We always felt like it was missing something, and I think changing some of the color schemes and obviously adding the characters. Now, not everybody likes the characters, so it's like 50-50, but we wanted to put as much art as we could because Justin's art is it needs to be in the world, and like we want to have as much of it as we can.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to do every single monster. He did the box cover, and then with the suit cards are hunters with their specialized abilities, whether it be melee, ranged, traps, or magic. he created a kind of a breaker for each of those suits. So I mean, it really connected his artwork throughout our game.
The other thing, Wayne, that really mattered in the conventions, Origins more so than Dice Tower, because Dice Tower, we had a lot of high-level gamers that really picked it up very quickly. And at Origins, we had a wide variety of skills and history. And I think what we learned at Origins is how to be more specific with language. And we would, someone would say, "Oh, I don't understand that." And then we, the three of us separately, for nights at a time, would have arguments about, does that make sense to change? Like, what are we saying what we need to say? So there was a lot of like language and editing and concise phrasing that really had to go into how the monsters are written.
I got to chime in here. It's always an interesting topic with demoing and feedback, and this is something we've talked about on the show before, but Carlos and I have been to a couple of the Stegmaier design days, and we've seen games in all levels there. We've seen people who just penciled something in. We've seen established designers there that are working on stuff. They've usually got about 40 or 50 games there, and you spend as on our side of it. We were invited as content creators, but then we would just go and we would set a schedule every day, and we would play these games, and then you'd rotate from table to table, and so. What we found interesting was the difference in some designers in how they took that feedback. And again, we've talked about this on the show before. Some of them very defensive. Any comment you would make, they were like, "Oh, well, there's a reason for that. We put that in there for that reason." And, it was almost like we were irrelevant. We were playing the game, but they were like, "Well, this is, close to the final version. So, you can play this and you can test it. Maybe I'll take some of your ideas." And then we had just the opposite. We had people that were just eager with notebooks. Every time somebody would say something, they were jotting down notes. They were, really, really.
Then there are some folks that went too far. Right. You give them feedback, they start writing on the card. Like, okay, I'll change that right now.
I saw that. Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, calm down.
You're right. That needs to be a 4, not a 5. Let me modify that. Yeah.
I think we have a really nice balance between the three of us to sort of negotiate and decide what's important, but because of the worldview of this game, we share it in a way, so we know where the best interest is, what's best for this game. We do a nice job talking about it and debating it, and then say, okay, now what? What's actionable? And is that still fun?
Yeah. And it's not like, because there's three of you, you can, like, if it's just one person, when it's like your baby, it's hard to change your baby. But like with three of you working on it, it's like that the cooperative nature comes in, and you have to kind of like agree, like, okay, yeah, I'll let this one go because the two of the three of you agree on a change. As so you can take that criticism or feedback better than just a solo person that's sitting in a room designing their own game type of thing. It sounds like so.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
it's definitely helpful.
I think it's hard to let go of monsters too for us. So like, there's a lot of ideas, a lot of monsters, and there's only 21 in the game, which is a lot. But there's a lot of monsters that you'll never know.
Oh, that
you got expansion material now, right?
Yeah, there you go. Expansions.
There's a reason they're not in the game.
Right. Yeah. Well, if this is wildly popular,
that's called a stretch goal.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, let's jump to the comments. I don't want to ignore the folks at home.
Yeah.
We've had some comments in here. Let's see if we got. Started off tonight with my man James Odak in chat saying, "Whoa, on time tonight." There's a surprise.
We have guests, you got to be on time,
4 or 5 minutes late starting the show. So.
Yeah, look at that.
Thanks, James. Yeah.
Andrew Bernhard says, "Bran, use your outside voice."
Oh, okay. Yeah, outside voice.
Do we know an Andrew?
Yeah, that's one of my best friends.
There you go.
I
That
think
sounds good.
it's a mic issue.
Giving
I'm
you a
not
hard
speaking,
time. Yeah.
Where I just have that soft tone, Andrew.
Andrew back with Egon mention. So it must be some inside stuff. I love it. I'm going to ruin this name. Charioswashko?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
It says Star Wars Unlimited Cube. So we're going back to that unit of measurement.
Yeah.
So it looks like someone wants a whole cube.
No, he knows that.
Yeah.
That's one of the cubes.
Andrew Bernard says, we'll just call him Andrew from here forward. Brandon loves a good lane battle. I love lane battlers.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
What am I thinking of? Land, Air, and Sea, or Air, Land, and Sea?
Air, Land, and Sea.
Yeah, that's a great one. You could probably see multiple copies. I've got 2 of the basic, and then I've got the Kitty Critters version. Great. Compile. I haven't tried that one yet.
So
That's a fun one.
What's important about Compile for us is that we love the card quality so much that Longpack's making our game, that our deluxe version has the same card stock, which is reverse UV coating on the cards. So if you know that game and you think they're PVC or they're amazing cards, that's what's going to be on the deluxe version.
Nice.
That game's awesome.
Battle Line. Rob mentioned that
Battle
one
Line's good.
earlier.
Shot and
That's an
Totten.
old one. The Shot and Totten Battle Line. That's all Dr. Reiner Knizia's game line. Radlands, another great lane battler. Yeah, man, lane battlers. Good job. I like it.
I just want to keep things on the point. Yep. We are at
Oh,
an
yeah,
hour. I know you guys
committed to an hour.
Have a bit. Have
We'll,
a bit,
we'll run them through
so it's
the
10 o'clock.
comments just to see if anybody has questions for them.
Yep.
Andrew back in here. Dune Imperium out here like the John Travolta Pulp Fiction GIF. Just like looking around.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, that one. Yep.
I saw that in my head.
Okay.
Good call. James Odak, DI is a top game. Dune Imperium top game.
Yeah, always.
Oh, we've gone international tonight, gentlemen. We've gone international. Our man Edmund
Edmund's on there from
England
Sweden.
out of Sweden is
Yeah.
commenting.
Hey,
Hello, guys.
Who's also developing his own game.
He is.
Yes, the container game. It's like
Yeah,
a
shipping and
container ship.
containing.
Nice.
Shipping.
That's all over
Yeah.
BGG.
Edmund England says, "Hello, guys. Nice interview." And then next comment, discussion. So I'm assuming that's tied together.
Yep.
Nice interview and discussion.
Thanks,
Thank
Edmund.
you.
Yep.
Great guys here. They made these guys over here across the table from us has made the conversation very easy.
Got to point Chad Stilson there. Yeah.
Chad Stilson, he does a lot of graphic design work. He's a great guy. It says, gentlemen, and Wayne too.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, Chad. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Fist. Pound it. Then we put a link to the Board Game Breakers in our chat for you folks at home to check it out. Please check it out on Kickstarter as well. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Wayne's reminding y'all to do that. Ron is asking, is the phone line actually on? He found out it is. Chad is from up north somewhere. He says euchre for life. That makes sense.
It means he's Midwestern. Is
Yeah,
where Chad's from
Midwestern.
Eventually, yeah.
Nice.
Roger says, this game sounds pretty cool. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate it. Uncle Raj is a plant, says Ryan.
Take the logo,
We
give
got
him
a
away,
whole
is what I
crew
said,
here.
yeah.
You got Sam D in the house says, there's nothing better than the deep shout and sighs at the table when you win that last monster. So we got
So
some play testers and
Sam-
players in here.
Well, Sam is our third guy. He's my brother.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Nice.
the okay. That's bro.
Nice.
Welcome, Sam.
Welcome,
He's in
Sam. Thank you for
Austin,
popping in.
Texas, so he couldn't drive in today.
You can always call in. It is a call-in show,
You can
folks.
call Sam.
That's how this works. Ron is correcting Robert and says Instagram too. So yes, Rob, he
okay.
is also
Sorry,
on
Ron.
the gram.
Wanted to hit you out there. Yeah.
He's a big fantasy role play guy. So I think part of what he called in for is because of this artwork. Like he gave me a book. I'm trying to remember the name of the RPG. It's like a real small old RPG, and it's all pencil art like this. And he's one of his favorite. He loves it. He gave me a copy. Thank you, Ron Frazier. Chad is in the chat, says, what roles do you two fill in your publishing company?
You wear all hats, or do you have lanes that you stay in, or?
I mean, we have a lot of hats,
Yeah.
certainly. Brandon's done the graphic design work as well, I'll be managing some of the business side of it as well. I mean, we're just there to help out in any field, really. If anyone needs anything, I think we're pretty open to assist.
Cool.
James Odak asks, where are you producing your game? In the U.S., China? Question mark,
Big
question mark.
question these days. Yeah, tariffs and
We're
all
going to
that.
be using long pack mostly in China.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And so how did you choose that company, or did you research multiple companies here in the States or here overseas? Talk about that if you could, because I think that's interesting as well.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a lot of companies out there. We really connected with Longpack, met them at Dice Tower, and just got to get to know them, what they do. Obviously, they explored the tariffs. They were really. I had a list of questions, so that's kind of how I am.
Sure.
I'll have it all ready to go, and so I had those questions at our meeting, and they had every single answer prepared. I mean, it was amazing. I'd ask about the tariffs. Well, we're glad you asked. Did they pull this bag out with the whole thing and gave a really good explanation to it. So after meeting them, after them being so prepared for that, I felt confident that would be a good company to work with as far as that goes.
Nice.
Very cool.
Thanks, James, for the question. And then finally, Chad Stilson is the last comment. Says Michigan. Euchre kept us warm on those cold winter nights.
There you go. Yeah.
So that was the chat that caught us up. Y'all did get a phone call in, so it is officially a call-in show for y'all too. I know we said we get y'all till about 10 o'clock. I want to thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Brandon,
Appreciate you being on.
Will, thank you so much for coming all the way to the studio to drop off your copy of Breakers.
Yeah, so we'll get with you about. Is there a time specifically you need this back by?
Who's
or-
the next group that needs this?
Not really. I've got another copy that I just got back. So
you're local, so
yeah,
just
we're
just come knock
local.
on his door.
When's come and knock on my door. When's the next game day?
This Saturday.
This Saturday,
It's
actually,
Saturday,
yeah.
so,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Rob, this will be a great
Yeah, I was
day.
going to say, do you mind if I took it to a game day, introduced
for
it to
it.
10, 15, 20
Yeah,
people?
yeah.
We
Okay.
didn't print a rule book for you.
Okay.
But it is on the website. It's on the Kickstarter. If
Okay.
you have any
I've watched
questions,
the
you
how to
can let us
play,
know.
so
Oh, yeah,
okay, so I'll
definitely.
watch that again and make sure I got the rules down. But cool, yeah, I'll definitely introduce it to some people then.
The
yeah.
livest and freshest of the rules.
Yeah,
It's on the website.
last version.
Nice,
yeah.
very cool.
Nice
All
to
right.
meet you guys. Thank you
Yeah, it
so
was
much.
nice to
Yep,
meet you.
close us out. Let the folks at home know where they can find out more about y'all, Breakers. Where can they learn about this?
Lightning Lake Games, all that good stuff.
We have a website, lightninglakegames.com. We are on Instagram. Check out our Kickstarter. We have a Facebook. You can say Twitter. We say X. We also have a Blue Sky.
Oh yeah. there you go.
We're out there everywhere. Just check us out, and thank you.
And if this takes off,
everything.
plans for more of this, or you think this is
Yeah.
a one-time baby?
I
or-
want the legacy
no,
game.
This
the
is,
legacy version.
hopefully, this is the beginning. I think there's more to explore in this universe.
Mhm.
So we have some ideas about that. We have some ideas for some other games. But again, the philosophy is games you can play. So
Okay.
whatever comes next, you can get to the table. We promise.
Nice.
Very cool.
And one other thing, if you're, not everyone's able to get their hands on a demo. We do have it on Tabletop Simulator to download and play. You can see that through our Kickstarter page.
So
Oh, very
TTS
cool.
as well.
Do y'all do any teaches on there? I know sometimes
We're happy to do a teach. Just got to reach out to us on one of our many
on those
socials,
platforms. Yeah.
and we'll schedule something.
Sweet.
That's
I'm a rule book guy. Like I go to sleep reading rule books in bed.
Yeah.
Like it's what I do for fun.
Work.
So I'm gonna try to get through that
Yeah.
rule book and see if I can grok it out of the rule book, and then I'll definitely provide feedback if I couldn't. I mean, English is not my first language, but I tend to understand games when I read them from the rule book. So I want to do that, and then if that doesn't work out, then we'll see about a TTS demo.
Awesome.
All right.
Sweet. All right, fellas. Thank you so
All right,
much for
thank you
coming.
all.
I'm gonna walk them out.
You
I'm
gonna
gonna
walk
leave
them out?
Rob.
All right, I'll
Yep,
talk to
I'll
Wayne
leave
for a
Rob
minute.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good.
To talk to y'all, and Wayne and Rob can talk a little bit about catching up on Rob's Dice Tower retreat
Hey,
experience.
Retreat
Awesome.
stuff.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you. All right. I'm just going to trail off here in a second.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Anyway, all right, Carlos is hitting all the mics and everything. I'm good. Yep, I got him.
You're good. Yeah, we got
Phone's
it.
off. Okay,
We
so
got
the
it.
phone is off temporarily, just so you know. The scroll at the bottom of the screen went away, so we're not taking calls for a few minutes here till Carlos gets back. He mans our phone. I'd probably screw it all up. So anyway,
Yeah.
but well, Carlos threw us a topic there. I was going to ask you what you wanted to talk about, but I can
Yeah,
jump
no,
over.
you
So
know.
I just
Yeah,
got back
yeah. I mean,
from
we
retreat.
could- yeah, you did the Dice Tower retreat.
Yeah, it was a good time. Retreat's
Was it?
always nice.
So, how many people?
I heard beforehand that it was advertised at 320, I think Tom
Okay.
said,
Very
which is
cool.
up from the last few years. I think it's been about 250 the last couple of years. So
Okay.
it's kind of interesting that Tom has continuously said that this is going to remain a small, intimate.
Froze it by a little bit.
Yeah,
sort of
so
each
growing
year.
it by a little bit, I wonder.
And so now, like for those of you who visualize, the Dice Tower East is in massive, like
Yeah.
ballrooms at this convention center. I
Yep.
assume that the Dice Tower Retreat is really just in a bunch of those side rooms.
Yeah, there's one big room that has probably enough room to hold about 200, 250 people with the tables there. And so you never really have that many people in there all at once. So there was no crowding issue, but it was that big ballroom has dividers where they can divide it down.
Oh,
into
so
smaller
it wasn't
rooms.
just those like side annex rooms.
No. Yeah,
It was actually one of the ballrooms they had like divvied up and give you like a fourth of the ballroom type thing.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay,
And I
all right,
think it was
cool.
probably about a fourth of the big room, and then there was one side room that was dedicated for like social games or for larger games. It was all their regular standard size tables. I don't know what those are. They're actually a little thinner than the 3x5s or whatever. But anyway, so they had a bigger room where they had the big rounds, and they had 3 or 4 big rounds, and then they had probably 6 or 7 of the smaller I say smaller, but the regular size tables put together. So if you wanted to play anything larger, you were in there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely more intimate. As you mentioned, yeah, Dice Tower East, not nearly as big as Dice Tower West, but Dice Tower East, I think was like 3,200 people or
Something like
something.
that, yeah.
Somewhere around 3,000. I hear West is a good amount bigger, which is by design. They're letting West
West is
kind
the
of
bigger
go,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
to see how they can max out. But you're in Vegas. I mean, you got to do it big in Vegas, right? I guess
Right.
so. Yeah.
The from what I've seen is that some people like they started on Tuesday or Wednesday. But people were checking in and already on like Monday and Sunday.
Oh yeah. Yeah. People game in the lobby of the hotel. People, or the resort, I should call. It's not really a hotel. It's the Caribe Royale Resort. But people play games around the pool. You know, the first couple games till they can get everything open. So it started in Miami, so the retreat was originally in Miami where the Dice Tower was based. And then a few years ago, I forget, I think for COVID reasons or something, they moved it to Orlando.
Yeah, so my guess there is knowing that the conventions that I run a bunch of conventions for my professional life. And so like it goes back to, there was one year where we had one of our large conventions, but we didn't quite make the room block. So like when you book insider knowledge, when you have a convention like this, basically the convention center, so the Caribe Royale, probably gives Tom those convention rooms and spaces for free, right? For free. But then in his contract, he has to guarantee that he will have so many room nights of hotels and cabanas and whatever. And then usually there's a food and beverage minimum too, like a food and beverage, like what they buy as far as the convention in the contract and whatever. So I think there was one year where, like you said, COVID related, probably they didn't hit the room and board minimum, right? Because usually you have in your contract, you have to do X amount of room nights. And then you have an attrition number where it's like, this is the contracted number, say it's 10,000, but we have attrition where we could go to as low as 9,000. If they didn't hit that, then you have to pay for the difference. So if you had a room and board night minimum of 9,000 room nights, or 5,000, whatever it is, and you only got 8,500, you as the convention have to cover the other 500. What I suspect what Tom did is said, instead of me paying you the 500, how about I move the retreat to you in the spring, and if I get 500 room nights for that, then we're good. And most hotels will be like, yeah, sure, that sounds good to us, because it's just more room nights, more food, more everything. As opposed to just because if you just pay the room nights, you're not getting the food and the parking and all that other stuff. So I suspect the reason why the retreat moved to the Caribe was to cover room nights, and then they probably just gave him a sweetheart deal of, well, if you keep it here, then we'll give you
better and better,
better and better and better.
And for those who don't know, Miami isn't. I mean, Florida's a big state, so Miami is just kind of across the state, but it is about 4 hours from where we are in Tampa, or maybe 3.5 from Orlando. So it's not like it's real close. So it was a pretty big deal to move that event that had been in Miami for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. And then because it's such a small, well, I say such a small, 320 people, comparatively small event, the people who go to the retreat, or who had gone to the retreat when it started, when it was only 100 people, they all know each other, and almost all of them were from Miami. And so I'm sure there was some hurt feelings when they moved from Miami. A lot of those people transitioned over and they made the trip to Orlando, and I think they're probably enjoying it. The Caribe's a nice resort there in Orlando. But
and it also seems like a lot of the Dice Tower contributors and Bonacore and like I was just listening to Board Games Insider. They were all talking about it. So it seems like the retreat is a mix of sort of industry insiders and friends of friends, and then people that have just been coming to retreat forever.
Right, exactly, and I'll just kind of mention. I mentioned it. When we were playing, we've got a TTS tabletop simulator Thunder Alley League we just started a couple nights ago, and I mentioned into that group that Tom mentioned they're going to stop advertising the retreat at all. He said that we talked about how they've had a wait list before. He is eliminating the wait list. There's going to be a whole other process about that. But he said that they're going to completely stop talking about it. Number one, they don't want more people trying to come. And number two, they don't want hurt feelings for people who he has to tell no every year. And so they are not really maintaining a formal wait list for it anymore. He said that if the only way to be considered for people who don't show up from one year to the other, there will be a certain number of tickets that will be available. but he said that the only way to be considered for that is to be affiliated or associated with somebody who came the year before. And so he said that then you're going to send a personal email to him. You need to tell him who you know, and you need to give him some of your gaming history. And then he said, even in that case, it's not going to guarantee you a spot. It's not going to put you, the first person to email may not be number 1 on the list. They may be number 30 on the list. He said, this is my one convention. He said, I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to invite people that I kind of know or I do know, and people I enjoy playing games with. And he said that's just the way it's going to be from now on. So for what it's worth, I'm awesome with it. I'm in the in crowd right now, so as long as I keep going back, I get to keep going back. But just to kind of put that out there that we're talking about it. But Tom said they're just going to completely not talk about it anymore. They're not going to advertise it. It's going to be kind of an insiders kind of thing. If you've been there and you're there. So
yeah, it's like turning into a gathering of friends, basically.
That's what a lot of people have said. Yeah.
And really good for him, right? I mean, why not? He's allowed to.
Exactly. So. Oh, yeah, turn your mic back on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like it's one of his favorite events.
He said it's his number 1 favorite
He just
convention of the year.
because he doesn't have to be Tom there. He can just be a
Right.
gamer there. He probably
He could just be
names
Tom.
the whole. Yeah, he just
You have to be Tom.
Tom from Florida. He's Tom from Florida. There,
Tom from
right?
Florida. Yeah, exactly.
Which is fine. That's great. I mean, because it's got to be exhausting. Like, go to Gen Con, go to Origins, go to Dice Tower East, West, Essen. You have to be. You're a Dice Tower president. You're the employee. You have to always be on. So it's probably good for all of them just to be 200-300 people gaming, and it's really just friends, and they don't have to be on. They can just.
That's all he did. I saw him from the time he got in there in the morning to the time he left at night, and he would just sit at one table, and people would come to him, and he would just rotate through game after game after game after game. He was just gaming the whole time, so I'm sure he got a kick out of that. There was stuff that he was playing. You could tell some stuff that he probably had to play to do some reviews and stuff on, stuff we'd never heard of. And then there'd be classics. He'd be playing classics with Bonacor and people who've been. I've been to I think 4 retreats now, 3 or 4, and same people show up. I mean, there's 200 out of the 320 that I have seen there year after year. So it's really. It's the people who. This is another way he put it when he made a little speech about it. That it's the people who support the Dice Tower, the people who he knows who want to have Dice Tower's interests at heart, who want to be there, who want to support the channel, support the show. He doesn't have to worry about policing people or somebody doing something stupid. These are people that he kind of knows are good people and good times. And so I mean, it's cool. So that's that. But I wanted to just jump in real quick. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I went with James Odak. James in the chat, a friend of the show. And this year for me, and I was telling Carlos a little bit about it before. Oh, we got a call coming in. All right, let's jump over.
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Joey from Colorado.
Hi, Jay. How are you?
I'm good. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
We are well.
Good.
Glad to hear from you again.
Thank you. I didn't mean to cut Rob off.
Oh,
He sounded like he was just about to get into something.
Don't even worry about that, bro.
Rob off. That's okay.
Okay. Number one, I appreciate the Miller time there.
Oh, yeah.
That's my go-to now.
Yeah.
Number two, I did purchase the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game.
Nice.
Not sure if I got that whole.
It's got some long title. Yeah. I don't
The
know.
acronym is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I think I wrote it down one day.
It might be longer to type the acronym.
Yeah.
Did you get a pre-order in on For Northwood? Have you made the commitment?
It was bought as you spoke last time. So,
there you go.
Because somebody, I don't remember who it was that posted up, hey, the pre-order is up. And by the time I think your phone call ended, it was already pre-ordered.
On the way.
And now I'm just kind of sitting and waiting.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Is that something that they still have to produce and then they'll ship?
They said September ETA on the website. So I'm not sure what what exactly that means.
On the boats already.
Hey, yeah, we're in September, so
yeah.
But I heard
that's awesome.
some
I'm glad
containers
more
fell
people
off a
get it.
boat in California.
Uh-oh.
So
I saw that.
I hope it's not mine.
Well,
Might be a little soggy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's for
Well, luckily for that one, it has the PVC cards. Well, depending on how they produced it.
so if I dive down, I can still get
You
it.
can still get your
Everything
game.
will be fine.
That's yes. There's a couple steps you have to go through.
Okay.
Now help me bust this myth. You said Colorado, but you said Miller. Don't y'all all drink Coors out there?
I've been drinking Coors most of my adult life, and only recently had switched over to Miller too. So, but if it's Coors or Miller, that's generally my preferred. And I'm from St. Louis, so I would always get grief in a St. Louis area bar for ordering Coors, but that's what I preferred.
I think I could flip between the two easily, like Coors or Miller.
I'm a Miller guy.
And I know that's why we have Miller here.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I don't mean to keep on going down that tangent, but my
fine. We like
preferred
talking about booze.
absolutely is Heineken or Heineken Light.
Okay.
Or Corona Extra also has a very similar taste.
I was gonna say, just don't say Corona. Corona's the one I can't. It's
Oh.
the only one I can't drink.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the Extra has like that skunky flavor, like Heineken or Heineken Light, and that's what I prefer.
Okay.
And I also like Red Stripe, but anyways.
Yeah. Now Red Stripe I'll take. Yeah, Red Stripe's a good Caribbean beer. I like
I'll do a
Carib as
Corona
well.
with a lime. Like Corona with lime, I can do that. The party time. But you're right, little skunky,
You know, in the
little
Corona
bitter.
Extra, I drink it straight, and I prefer it without the lime, but I could be talked into any sort of brewski,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Except for I don't like the hoppy stuff. The IPAs aren't
Oh
really my
no, me
thing.
either. I don't do
Or
the
the
IPA.
sours.
Yeah, me.
Okay, I can't do sours.
Sours
but
are great.
IPAs I can
Flipping
do.
out, but
But IPAs are more of a form of, and listen, we're all about tangents here on the show, so don't even
It's
worry
all
about
all
it.
over the place. Yeah.
For me, the IPAs are more about efficiency, like that 9.0. Like, okay,
drink less and
we're-
get a hit.
we're getting
Well,
it in.
and two is like for me, I think I never used to like IPAs, but I'm starting to like them more and more because my issue is I just anything, water, soda, any beverage, I just drink really quickly. So if I'm drinking just beer, I'm drinking them like light beers. I'm like, whoop, oh, it's just like water, right? But like a IPA, I tend to drink a little slower, so I'm not drinking it as fast, right? So, but I'm with Chad Stilson. I'm a Guinness guy.
Yeah.
Give me
Oh, Guinness is
give me
good.
the
I like
stout.
Guinness was my first favorite.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
my first favorite.
yeah, I tend to like I don't do soda, but fizzy water I drink a crazy amount of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that. Yeah, and you can get yourself in trouble if you're pound 3 or 4 IPAs. Oh,
So,
I could have
and-
eaten something
Now,
first.
now Carlos and I were like, there's a brewery down here, Coppertail Brewery, that has the Unholy Triple.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's spelled weird. It's that Tripel or
Yeah, it's a triple. It's a triple
yeah.
ale from. It's a Belgian triple, but it's like 10.5 or something like that.
yeah. But we
And-
also have Cigar City, not in Ybor City. It says it right on the can, not in Ybor City.
Close
Cigar
enough.
City, they make the Highlight
Highlight,
IPA.
which is really good.
That is, I remember. Yes, I when I got knocked out of the X-wing tournament in Atlanta, I think it was Marietta. It was so cool that Gigabytes, I think it was, had Highlight there, so I could just drown my sorrows without having to drive home.
But yeah,
I have there's a local brewery here called Dry Dock, and they have an apricot blonde, and that's really, really good. There's also, I guess, one that's maybe getting bigger, or it's pretty big. It's called Montucky, and they call them cold snacks, and I love that.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for that.
Kentucky, I haven't heard of that one. Okay.
very cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, I saw you guys had some people on, and then I saw reference to euchre. I just wanted to point out, number one, that I went home to St. Louis recently, and me and a friend who hadn't played euchre in probably almost 20 years, we won the tournament.
Oh
I
wow.
love euchre. Is that I mean, it was a small tournament, but regardless, it was incredible. I missed some of the
Yeah, I'll give you the
conversation
context.
earlier, so apologies if I'm rehashing.
The guys that came out are doing this breakers trick taking monster hunting game. So we got talking
I
about
went
different
to their
trick
site
takers.
and I started watching the video.
So we got into all their different trick-taking games, and euchre came up. So, of course, I mentioned where I tried to get this guy into gaming, but he was from Michigan, so he was all about euchre. And I'm like, bro, but let me teach you these other games. He goes, no, we're going to play euchre. So I played a lot of euchre at lunchtime. And then Chad Stilson was in the chat talking about how he is also from Michigan, and euchre got him through those long, cold nights.
It's kind of funny how, like, euchre was the Midwest game. And like I'm from New York, and spades was the game. Everyone
Spades and hearts for me.
Spades and hearts, right? So it's funny how trick-taking games with a deck of 52 cards, they're all similar, but like each geographic region in America has a different one that everyone played.
But what's weird though, and Joey, I don't know if you feel this too, like because you have the For Northwood trick-taking solo game. Right, I think I said that right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're a trick taker guy, but I personally have found in this modern generation very difficult to teach people trick taking games because there's so much less people playing trick takers growing up. I don't know how old you are, brother. I'm 40. I'll be 45 next month. So
yeah, I'm 43.
Okay, so we're about the same age range, except for Rob. He's outside.
Yeah.
Old.
He's old. But people played more card games together. Like, that was just the thing. The grandparents did, and then the parents did, and as kids, we watched them play cards.
Yeah.
Our kids aren't growing up like that.
I understand that. What's funny? Oh, man, I can go off on so many tangents right now.
That's what we are doing here, brother.
I don't want to flood you with my rambling, so.
Is that or I listen to Rob's rambling?
Oh, mine's better.
You guys were talking about Dice Tower earlier, and I have two things to say about them. One, about top 10s, and two, about what you're talking about now. And they were talking about, I don't remember which video it was. It was got to be 3 to 5 years ago. And Tom talks about how almost the same sentiments you have, that they're not as, I don't know, seen as much nowadays, and he likened it to the fact that whenever we were growing up, the computers came with spades on them and hearts on them, and nowadays, not sure if that's the case.
But if you ask a kid, they're gonna be like, "What do you mean
so
computer?"
Yeah, like our stuff.
Yeah. Our Windows 95 computers had Minesweeper, Hearts, and Solitaire.
Yep.
I was out in San Antonio with my son, sitting at the bar waiting for our to-go order from a restaurant. I was getting some steaks to go, and he has no phone, so I handed him over my iPhone and gave him Solitaire. Blew his mind, like just basic like Spider Solitaire that you get, everyone got on their Microsoft PC. It blew his mind. Because kids just don't get introduced to stuff like that like we did. So when and this is what brought me to that, Joey, when Brandon and Will talked about breakers and we want to make games that can get to the table, so in other words, easy to play, I'm thinking, ooh, but trick takers, like anything trick taker, I feel is hard to teach to others. So I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one that thinks that. What was the other topic with the Dice Tower you said you were thinking about?
Oh, the top 10s you were talking about. How is it the retreat where they sort of handpick people to sort of come there?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if at one point I had made a comment on their Facebook page saying I would throw my hat into the ring as a person who's probably watched the most top 10s. Only because I listen to them almost every night to fall asleep, and I'll watch the same one over and over and over and over again. So,
wow.
I wonder if that could get me in the door.
It could. I mean, he was looking for those.
How can I prove that? Really?
The history tab of your YouTube.
There you go. Yeah. Print capture that. Send it to him.
Yeah, that's funny. But what I was going to say is counter to what we were all saying. What's funny is my daughter. She goes to aftercare after school. And what's funny is she's been coming home and she's probably taught us 4 new, my wife doesn't really play games, but she has taught me 4 new like card games that they're learning at aftercare. And it's just good to see that because it's such a simple 52 card deck. But yes.
Man, you just brought up some core memories for me. Like you just triggered some core memories of after school care. I'm thinking triominoes, Stratego. Like they just kept us busy by throwing board games at us. That is a place where
Yes.
kids learn from other kids games that they know how to
Yes.
play, and they'll teach them.
But
Yes, and that's actually been a great outlet for her, because I want to play too, but you just have different tastes and sometimes different fuse levels, where sometimes I have a short fuse or sometimes I'm not as short. Anyways,
I never let my kids
when
win.
you said triominoes, no, I tend to not either, but it's more the fact, like, we'll be playing a game and it like Cora Quest.
Okay.
And I'll want to be a stickler for the rules, and I'm like, it just doesn't become fun then. I need to focus on the fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, you can't attack or you can't, if you interrupt your movement with an attack, you have no more movement after that. And really, I should just let it.
Yeah, at a certain age, you just got to let it go, right? Until they get a little bit older. Like,
Yeah.
I can remember my kid was like, up to like 7 or 8 years old, but like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just getting to the table, getting him playing a game, teaching him the concept, kind of fudged the rules a little bit, or like, they made a bad move, you let them take it back. But you still try to play to win, but you gotta keep the interest there, because if you just stickler for the rules and crush them every moment, then they're not gonna want to play. So.
Yeah. Or that's an origin story, and you never win again after.
Yeah, origins.
12 or whatever it is.
Well, see, I saw
anyways,
my kids.
I'll let you guys
Joey,
go.
hey,
Go ahead.
you're a dad too. So I got my boys out there, all 3 of them, and they're at the table. It's late nights, a weekend. It's like 10, 11 o'clock, and they're getting started with some 3-card poker, which I've never played. I'm not familiar with it.
I don't know.
I guess it's something the high schoolers are all playing now. So all
It's
3
a
of my boys are out
Vegas
there.
game, 3-card poker.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
And they were going to get into like an all-night session of 3-card poker. And I'm sitting here with a deck of Jungo. And I'm like, this is going to be more fun. And I wanted to step in and like interrupt and be like, but what if we play this? And then I was like, you know what? Let me step back. And I let them have their fun. And they stayed up all night playing 3-card. Like, anybody else get that feeling as a dad too? Like, you see your kids enjoying something, but you want to insert my kids are not board gamers really. Like they'll play some, but they're not heavy into it. If y'all felt that before, how have you handled it?
I wouldn't attribute it just to kids though. It's just, as with anything in life, I'm like, oh, you like that? I've experienced something that I think is better, but I just keep my mouth shut, or it's only better in my point of view. And even whenever it's sort of the same thing with like alpha gaming, where, oh, you could do that, but you should do this. Well, if you tell them what they should do, they'll never experience why they should do it. They just are following a directive. So, it's going to take its course, and it's tough, man. It's not just being a dad. It's a lot of areas of life, but I can certainly appreciate that. But you didn't get in on the poker? That's what I would have tried to do.
And
although
I was happy to see them interact, right? Like as your kids get older, if you got multiples of them, when you start to see them like treat each other like adults and like having fun together, like I want to just kind of step back and just enjoy that moment. So I took a picture without them looking. I took a little picture on my dumb phone. Man, I appreciate it. I'm glad to see other dads out here in the audience calling in. That's family's very important to me, and I love to hear from y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think family is number one, and I have a saying where we have a picture of friendship, the next best thing to family. So
nice. All right, homie. Have a good evening. Thank you for the call.
Appreciate you calling.
All right.
You doubled the number of calls for the evening.
Up to
There you
2.
go. Up to
Night.
2.
Good night.
All right. Peace.
Colorado
James,
in the house.
Yeah, James hit it on the head. So he, bring him to the youngsters. But this is the best comment. You try to show them something, and you're just a nuisance.
Mm-hmm.
Then they discover it on their own. It's the best thing ever. Oh
Yes.
my God, I feel that so bad in my head right now. A quick story. So I've talked about my son. He's a soccer player, right? And forever I've been trying to like get him to have a certain mentality, and how they play the game, whatever. Dad, he doesn't want to listen to me, right? I can't coach him, can't listen to him. His club this year has this. We have a connection to a club in England, right? The MK Dons, which is like a second tier, third tier English club, and like the youth development coach there is doing like these Zoom calls, and I'm listening every Sunday at noon. He's on there, and I'm listening to this guy because he's got a British accent. And he coaches at this club, and he's saying the same exact thing that I've been saying for the last 3 years. And my kid's like eating it up. He's writing it down. He's loving it. He's like, really, really, you couldn't listen to me 3 years ago and
Nope.
got the same information.
You're
But,
dad.
oh my God, yes, so annoying.
Yep,
Why
yep.
won't they listen?
We as coaches, we would do that. My son played a lot of baseball. As
Yeah.
coaches, we'd be like, "Hey, listen, I need you to grab my son, and you're going to work on these things this way." And like, all right, bro. Well, then you grab my son, and you work on these things this way. It's just when they
Your
hear it
kids
from
don't wanna
another
listen-
dad,
another dad, or another coach, another
Yep.
whatever. It's immediately
another respected figure. It just
Yep.
it's different.
What was that again? Another respected what?
Figure,
Figure. You can't say figure.
my figure.
Figure. You got a big
Yeah,
figure.
but I felt that. Very cool.
You rock.
So back to the Dice Tower Retreat. How many games did you play?
Oh, so yeah, that's where I was headed there. So I attended with James Odak. As we've teased James, he is a big, heavy Euro gamer. And so I was telling Carlos before the show that I was seeing all these people post in the last couple of days in their post. We have a chat online for all the people who were retreaters. And so all these people
Ooh,
posted,
you have a
hey,
special chat.
oh,
look
a
at
special
you.
chat. We're elite. Yeah. So anyway, so they posted, I played 42 games. I played 56 games. I played 62 games. I haven't counted, but I think I played about 10. But I played. Jim and I played almost every game we played together. We played a couple of games separate. We played with lots of other people, so don't get the wrong idea that we just played only with each other. And that's another whole story that I thought it was very interesting being at a convention with just one person. I'm used to going to conventions with our Beans and Dice group, and we've got 10, 15 people there, and we play a lot of games, just us. And we've talked about in the past how we probably should break up and play with other people and meet other people. This convention, even though it was me and Jim, we played with a lot of people just because Jim would just sit down at a table. He'd be like, what game you want to play? We'd pull it out. We'd put the flag down. And then I was amazed, and it's even more so at the retreat, I think, than Dice Tower East or the other ones I've been to, about we would have people within 5-10 minutes. We'd have a full table of people coming over and wanting to play the games. But anyway, a side note, back to my point, is we played big games. I think I played about 10 games in 5 days, which sounds like, wow, you didn't play any games. I played several games that were 4 hours plus.
That's not like you.
Yeah, they were big, heavy games, and so I like to break it up. Jim doesn't. There was a game I was not playing. He played Eclipse, and he met up with some guys he didn't know, and he just jumped into a game before I got down there one day, and he played that for what 4 hours ish maybe, and then I came down afterwards and I was like, well, what do you want to play next? And he's like, well, whatever, you just choose it. I'm like, well, you probably want to play something lighter after you just spent 4 hours playing Eclipse. He's like, no, let's grab a Lacerda or something. Let's play. I was like, really? Another like 4 hour heavy crunchy Euro game? He's like, oh yeah, that's what I do. And I was like, wow. I need to break mine up. I like playing a heavy game, and then I like playing a light game or 2 or 3, and then go back and play a heavy game. So, I mean, that's in Dice Tower past. I've gotten 40, 50, 60 games played. It's because I've balanced it out. I did not mind this at all. It was kind of interesting just playing the heavy games. I played a bunch of games I've never played before. A few games that I was interested in that were on my quote unquote list before I went in. Some games that I'd never even heard of that we got introduced to that were really good games. And so I'll get more into that.
Who provided the bucket to take your brain home after it melted out of your head?
It was rough. So I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night and then playing all these heavy crunchy games. I was fried. Actually, it literally took me about 3 days to recover after the convention. I actually fell asleep at my desk at work one day because I was spent. I was done, man. But yeah, anyway, we got a caller coming in.
We got caller number 3 in the house. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Carlos, Wayne, and Rob. This is Chris from Texas. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, Chris from Texas. How are you?
Hola.
Good. Doing great. I was just listening to your twig there. So a lot of heavy games, Rob?
Lots of heavy games. Like I say, I probably played at least, my brain's still not there, 4 or 5 games that were no less than at least 3.5, 4, a couple 4.5, 5-hour games. I mean, we played some heavy, big, long games. Yeah.
Now, what were some of the games that you played, and were they games that you played for the first time, or some that you played previously?
Almost everything was a first time, which was, again, another thing with me, and it's Carlos and I have talked about this in the past. Carlos likes going to conventions and playing games that he knows, that games that he loves, games that he knows play well, at conventions with 5, 6, 7 people.
And long,
like big, long Civ builders and things like that. I don't mind that. Again, but I go to conventions to learn games. I go to, especially like Dice Tower with their huge library of games. I want to go there. I want people to teach me games. I want people to show me what they've been playing, what they're passionate about. Jim was completely cool with that. He wanted to play the games that he knew. I wanted to play the games that he knew that I had never played. So he introduced me to a lot of games. We actually played a couple games with a couple different game designers who were there, and I got some stuff played. But let me pull up my list here real quick. So
while you're doing that,
I tend to be between the two of you. Is like I like to play some new games. And then when I need a mental break, I'll go to games I know and just play them because I played them a bunch before. So I kind of try to balance it.
On the other hand, I feel like if I try new games, there's just too much opportunity for disappointment. I think there was one year I let Rob lead the way, and that was the year that we played
Way of the Panda.
Way of the Panda.
Great game.
And something Vikings.
That
879 Vikings.
No, that game's amazing.
No, it was
okay.
What was that?
Wild Vikings, or I can't remember.
Vikings Gone Wild or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Vikings Gone Wild. Yeah,
it was
just
a
popular game.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
It sucked.
Yeah, for a couple years, it was up there.
James Odak says he logged 24 games. Chuck had 50.
You gotta have played more than 10, Rob.
Yeah, let me count real quick. I'll do that while y'all are chatting.
I know you played Memoir and a couple of smaller games.
Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 the first day. Then 7, 8, 9, 10 the second day. 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, 18. So
didn't break 20. There you go,
right.
Chris. The answer is he didn't break 20.
Didn't break 20. So, which is
wow.
A lot of years I might have considered that a disappointment, but I will tell you, I had fun. I enjoyed it. I should have expected going into it, knowing that it was me and Jim, that's probably more the way it was going to be. I just never even thought about it. But once we got there after the first day and we had played a couple of heavy games, I was like, okay, no, I'm cool with this. Let's learn heavy games. This will be my heavy game convention, and we'll just knock these out. So,
and now that's you and Jim for all eternity together. Then that's just it. This is Dice Tower retreats your heavy games.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Yes. So if they don't ever let anybody else in, that'll be the thing.
I just sent my email before to try to get in. Chris, have you done a Dice Tower event before?
No, I still haven't. The only thing I've done is Origins. I want to do Board Game Geek Con.
Yeah, in Texas there.
Because it's always around my birthday.
There you go. There's your reasoning.
I want to get out there for one of those.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go next May. That's talking to my wife, and I think I'm going to make that happen. So
well, maybe May. Let me think about it. Maybe
I'm trying to remember which of the BGG cons is the family friendly one.
Well,
they do 2. There's one in the spring, one in the fall, I believe.
So look into that,
I think
Chris.
It's the one in the spring because there's a kids one. I already looked at tickets for kids.
That's the one I want to attend because with the kids and the family, like being able to have them with you, and like that matters to me.
Yeah, they have it because the pricing's different for kids. Because I looked into that because I was thinking about taking my son with me. So
that's what I was thinking about.
I think it's the spring.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, I got my list here. Let me just run over them. So, looking at my list, there were...
Well, Chris is still on the phone.
There were some lighter games. Well, Chris asked
me. No, I want to hear it.
Okay,
Please,
copy that.
Which games I played, so yeah.
Oh, he wants to know all of them? Well, let's go.
He said, what heavy games?
Yeah.
So, but looking at it real quick, I'm not going to get into them, but I'll just run through them here real quick. But there were some lighter games that I slipped in my mind, because all those heavy games.
His brain was melted.
So we started off with Sept, my game of the year, number 1 on my list so far. Still my game of the year. It was great. We played a 4-player game of Sept. We then did play Memoir 44. I will leak that Carlos may remember that after Dice Tower East, Jim talked about playing Battle of Hoth. He had never played any of the memoir games or any that's not his genre at all, really, war games. He really enjoyed Battle of Hoth. He talked about how he's probably going to buy it. We played Memoir 44, just the intro scenario. He did not like it. He didn't like it at all. So he's like, ooh, this is very disappointing after I played Battle of Hoth. And so I'm not sure why, but just a side note, we can get into that some other time, some other show, but he did not enjoy Memoir. We played Takanu, Obelisk of the Sun. I had never played that before. Since I was learning it, that probably took longer than it should have, but we played a 4-player game of that. A game I had never heard of that I'm glad I played called Thabai. It's one of the T games, the Teotihuacan and Tiwanatsu and all those games. But it's I think the newest one in the series called Thabai, which is it's a fairly heavy Euro. Had a 4-player game of that. We played a very light, fun game called Flip Tunes. I had never heard of it, but it was a fun little card game.
I've been keeping an eye on that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. So that one was enjoyable. And then actually I played something just completely out of left field that one of the game designers we played with, Chuck, played a game called Spooktacular. I had never heard of it. It's a new game out. It's just a wild, crazy, you play as monsters, and everybody's monsters, and you're trying to devour people in a like a haunted house, and it's just fun. Everyone's asymmetric, and there's like 20 different monsters in the box, and they all play way differently, so it was really cool. Played Flip Tunes a second time, so actually that takes one off my unique played. The second day we played Scara Bray, which is in the it's not named Jake McDonald, but Shim Phillips. It
Jim
is.
Phillips.
Yeah, I had never played it. Have you played that one, Chris?
No, I actually own it. I need to. It's one of those that I got to get to the table still.
I didn't know a whole lot about it. I know that I like all those West Kingdom series games, and I like all the South Tigris games. I did not know that this is a quick version of those.
What?
This plays in about 45 minutes, and it is those games in 45 minutes. It was Jim.
Now I'm interested.
Jim said this was a must buy for him. This was one of the 2 games that he came away and said, "I am buying Scara Bray." So it was good. It's not nearly as chunky and heavy as Ezra and Nehemiah, but it's the same feeling, a little lighter. And in 45 minutes, I mean, it was good. So if you want a 45-minute version of a Shim Phillips game,
your weeknight Shem intake,
it does that. It scratches that itch. Again, I don't want to take forever. Oh, I don't want to take forever because these guys are going to give me a hard time. Great Wall. We played a big epic game. Jim has all the 3D printed terrain. We taught it to 2 new players. I finished last.
Did he bring his copy?
He did. It was his copy. So we set that up on one of the big tables, and we played that. That was about a 5-hour game of the Great Wall. Fun game, but that lasted a little longer than it probably should have. Another little light game I forgot completely about. One of my games of the con, a classic that I kept hearing about, Broom Service. I love Broom Service. That was fun. That may be a game that I end up having to buy. So that's a cool one.
That's an old one.
Yep. Played Nucleum for the first time without the expansion. The first time I played Nucleum, the only other time I played Nucleum was with the Australia expansion. I did not like it. I played it again. I don't know whether it's by playing a second time, something clicked or whatever. I enjoyed Nucleum without the expansion. So I told Jim, now I got to play with the expansion again, see if it was the expansion that ruined it for me or if it's just something clicked and now I understand it. But I actually really enjoyed Nucleum. That was fun. I'm glad I played it. A game that was Jim's game of the con. I don't want to ruin it if Jim was planning to phone in or anything, but Asian Tigers, a Story of Prosperity was probably my number 2 game of the con.
Wow.
Great game. Mahir Shah.
That got played at one of our game days a couple of weeks
That's
back.
what I heard, that Alex has it.
So Alex played it in the back room when we were in the front room.
Mahir Shah taught it to us, game designer, and he said it was his favorite game that he's played recently. Jim loved it. Jim absolutely loved it. I liked it a lot. So I just heard they are coming out with a better produced version of it. The only thing that was wrong with the game, excellent mechanisms and mechanics. The production was left a lot to be desired. They are supposedly re-putting this out now in the States, in the United States, and they have a new production of it. The board is a puzzle board in the original. They're going to come out with a real board, a regular board for it. They're going to touch up the graphics and things. So Asian Tigers, A Story of Prosperity. If you like medium to heavy Euro games, this is a really good one. So Targi. I hadn't played Targi in years. Jim didn't think he had ever played it, so we were looking for a quick 2-player filler between games, and so I started to teach it to him, and he's like, "Oh, I played this game like way back at the beginning of my my gaming career." So
Good one.
Targi,
It's
great
really
little
good.
2-player, yeah, 2 game.
We played it at Dice Tower East 2 years ago.
I think we
You and
did,
I.
yeah. It had been a couple years since I had played it, but yep. Weather Machine, we jumped into, so a Lacerda. I did get a Lacerda played. I'd never played Weather Machine before. It is one of Jim's least favorite Lacerdas. I liked it. It is a bit chaotic, so I can understand when you're playing a big, heavy Euro. Jim, talked about how he likes to look ahead and plan 2 or 3 turns ahead. Weather Machine, there's a lot of somebody does something and it messes up what you were going to do, and so there's a lot of pivoting and rethinking things, and I kind of enjoyed that. I kind of liked that for a big heavy game. But yeah, we ended up playing a full, I think it was a 4-player game of that, which took probably 3 to 4 hours. Civolution, that was my game of the con. I had never played this before. Civolution's been out for a few years.
I wanted to hear about this one.
Civolution is really good. So I'll talk to you more off camera about it and get into the details, because I know we're already coming up against 11 o'clock here. But I like Civolution a lot. I think that was my game of the con, and I want to play that again like now. So I know Alex has a copy. I believe Alex has a copy, so I may play it at game day on Saturday. But I really, really like Civolution. Little dice placement, area control, exploration. It's kind of almost a 4X. In that game, we played a 4-player game. Again, that was another one of the probably 4.5 hours long. So it was a pretty long game. We were teaching 2 new people, myself and one other person. Jim and I played a quick 2-player game of Kutna Hora, which is a medium weight Euro game. I played it once before. He kind of retaught it to me. I'd played it a couple years ago at the TGG, and we had fun with that, although there was a mistake. Jim put the wrong side of the board up, so we ended up playing 1 round shorter than we were supposed to. And Jim was like, "Well, let's play an extra round," because he had a plan and he was expecting another round. I was like, "No, we're done." And we ended up tying, and I won the tiebreaker. So I was like, "No, that's good with me." So we played a round shorter than we were supposed to for 2 players, but I'm counting that as a win. One I know Carlos would really like. I've only got 2 left, promise. One I know Carlos would like. The next to last game I played, again, was with a game designer. DEI, it's Divide a Imperia. And have you heard of this one?
Yes, I think the Ant Lab folks did a playthrough of it, so I'd seen it before. And
I think you would like this. This is a skirmish game, but with 4 players on a big board and with asymmetrical powers and area control, skirmish. I mean, I think this is right up your alley, Carlos. Really cool production. The base game comes with 3 layered boards with 3 different levels of elevation. It's pretty cool. It was fun. Jim didn't like it so much. We had a rough start because the guy who taught us, Chuck, he was like, "Do y'all want to play just the basic 4 factions, or they've got like 8 more?" And I've never played any of those, but we could explore those. We spent an hour trying to figure out those factions, and we ended up going back to the base factions because we couldn't figure out a couple of them. So it was a rough startup, but that was a fun one. The last one I played, the last game on Sunday the only game I played on Sunday, was a game called, I haven't heard of this one, and this one was really good also, Dark Ages. Supposedly there's 2 versions of it. I played the Heritage of Charlemagne, and then there's another one based in Rome, and this was a really good game.
This is the one I commented on, like, what is this witchcraft?
Yes. This is going to be up your alley again. It is a area control, kind of a civ builder, asymmetric starting powers, and it is a slow build. You start out with just 1 little town on the board, and you get like 1 or 2 resources in that first turn, and you got to figure out, all right, which way am I going to go? How am I using those? And then it builds over round after round after round. Then you're collecting 2 resources and 4 resources and then 8 resources. You've got action selection on a board where you're bumping each other out, and when you bump somebody, they get to take a little minor action, and so you're kind of hoping to get bumped, or if you don't get bumped, you have to take a recall action, which kind of, slows you down a little bit. So it's a lot of player interaction. There's fighting is in the game, but it's not encouraged, especially early on. You can really mess yourself up if you get into fights. So everybody's kind of just sitting in their corners of the board, building up their economies, building up their armies. And then at the end, there's definitely a rush to try to control some territory and score some points. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with that one. The guy who taught us, it was one of his top 5 favorite games of all time. And I can see why. I got crushed in it. I got killed, but had a great time. So it was a fun game. So anyway, that my long rambling there, Chris, but that's what I played.
Well, I'm glad we got it in because I wanted to hear it.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure that Chris wanted to hear it, but it sounds like this was his request
Yeah,
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
for
I
his
put
phone call.
I put a comment in the chat about it.
Okay.
Love it.
So hopefully that was enlightening. That was helpful.
Did anything stand out for you, Chris? Any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've heard Civolution. There's a lot of people that have raved about that. I've also heard that people like Starbray, and that's one that I want to try out. Obviously, I have in my house, so definitely going to make that a priority.
I'm going to have to find that one. I had no idea that it was supposed to be like the White Castle of the Shem Phillips line.
It is. Yeah.
Like, I'm down for that.
And you've got a bunch of actions you can take. And the only thing was, it felt like White Castle. When we played it, we were like, holy mackerel, how do you ever use all these different actions? Because
that's the fun
there's
part.
Just not enough time. But yeah, you've got to optimize. You've got to figure out what are you trying to do and get to it. Don't mess around. Yep.
Yeah, so those two stood out for sure. And then I heard 2 Daniel Tashini games. Of all the Daniel Tashini games that you played, which one's your favorite, since you can recall? I'm sure you played more than those 2.
Yeah, I've played...
Because they have the original one that's the most popular.
Yeah, I've played probably 5 or 6. The Thabai, I think that was him. That's I think that, like I say, I think the newest one in the line. It's very different, and that was what Jim said. Jim has played almost all of them, and so I would even defer to his expertise on that. But he said that this was not his favorite because, well, I won't say not his favorite. This was very different than what he was expecting. And so when he told me that, I took that as meaning he didn't like it. He told me later that, oh, no, I did like it, but it was so different than what I was expecting from playing all the other games. But, man, yeah, Carlos, is that the list there? Carlos has got them pulled up here on BGG. If you ask me my favorite, just from what I'm seeing scrolling here, Toledo right now is my favorite. I just learned that one. I've played it 3 times. Takanu, which Jim taught me here, I had never played. That one is a close second, probably. I know Jim will tell you, we discussed it a little bit at the con. Jim will tell you that Teotihuacan is his favorite.
Yeah.
I like that one, but it's not my favorite. And then Tzolk'in, going back to the old one, I keep seeing Tzolk'in pop up. I love me some Tzolk'in, but I do like the newer stuff better, probably just because it's a little more modern. It's got some more complex mechanisms and things, but I love those gears in Tzolk'in trying to decide when are you going on, when are you pulling off, which benefit are you going to take. So that's a lot of fun.
I haven't played Toledo yet, but Tzolk'in
so good.
probably on that list would be mine for now until I play Toledo.
I've only played Marco Polo. Like that's
Marco Polo's
the only one of his.
I like Marco Polo. It's a little weird because that's the one where it's like you have the asymmetric powers. It's very tight.
Yep,
very tight.
It's good, very tight.
Do you have a favorite, Chris?
I've only played the first one, City of the Gods or whatever it's called. Teotihuacan, or what's the first one called?
Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan. That's the only one I played.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Cool.
I thought it was very, very clever.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't played any of the other ones to really compare. But yeah, that one seemed good. So I have a feeling that I'd probably like the other ones too.
Yeah, I would recommend Toledo, which is not the newest one, because I think this Thabai was the newest one, but I think that might have been before. They just came out recently with an expansion. I played it with the expansion. I prefer Toledo without the expansion, and 2 of the 3 people I played with also said that. So just the base game is really good. There's a really cool dice selection to do actions mechanism in it. That's a lot of fun. And then Obelisk of the Sun, Takanu. Like I say, I just learned that one, but that one was a lot of fun too. I really enjoyed what they did with dice in that one. So I would recommend those 2 to if you're interested in that line, check those 2 out.
Okay, great,
cool.
And then I think I fall more into Wayne's Camp. I'm kind of the same way with conventions. I like a mix of new games and old games. Just games that maybe I don't get to play as frequently. Maybe they're longer, what have you.
Yeah.
So bring some, play those some at the convention and play some new ones. Kind of a mixed bag. Plus, if I play too many new games that are like brain burning, like what you did, my brain starts to hurt after a while.
Oh yeah, mine did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
And so I don't like that feeling.
It was really twisting Jim's arm to get him to play flip tunes, and we actually got him to play it twice. But yeah, he was not into the flip tunes as much. So, but that was a fun little in between filler. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah, and I think it kind of just depends on the weight too. Some games. Oh, actually, also it's a combination of weight. Because sometimes you could play a game that's a little bit heavier, but that's just so streamlined.
Right.
And then you play other games that maybe are less streamlined with the lower weight. So it kind of just depends on the game, I think, for me. But the more streamlined the game is, then I find that I don't feel that way as much. But if there's just more moving parts and it's not quite as clean, there's maybe a little more fiddliness to the game. That's when usually my brain starts, being like, okay, I don't want to play too many of these back to back.
Yeah. Like I said, I got stomped in several of them. Jim's, I mean, he's on it. He's sharp, and I know he's smarter than me. But he would, he'd go from 1 to 1 to 1, and he'd win 80% of the games. And I was just happy to be at the table playing.
I want to watch him play against Nick.
Well, yeah, him and Nick, they go at it sometimes.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. But I told him, I was like, hey, I want to play something lighter. He's like, let's play something heavier. I was like, okay, all right, whatever. So, yeah. I was down for whatever.
Funny.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that, Rob. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Sounds like you had a lot of fun.
I did. And before we let you go, of course, we need to announce that you dropped another video on the channel. I've been trying to watch that. I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, I had fun doing it. Finished out our series for the year. Our next one's going to be board game apps because had somebody suggest that. I thought that was a good idea. Our top, our favorite board game apps.
Oh, apps. Oh, I thought you said hats. I was like, board game hats.
Yeah.
Tom owns a few of those, but I don't.
Yeah, Tom. I'll talk to Tom about that. Right?
Yeah, I don't have any board game hats. Cool.
Yeah, we're going to do board game apps, whether on the phone or, Steam or just whatever our favorite apps are that we can play.
Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for your call. Really appreciate hearing from you.
Yeah.
You updated it. Call
yeah,
number
it's
3.
good to have you back, Rob and Wayne. And Carlos did an excellent job holding down the fort last week.
Yeah,
he is a pro.
We knew he would.
Yeah, between you
impressed.
and Ron, we got this.
Well, yeah, you're a one-man show, though. You didn't even need us, Carlos, because you were really doing a good job. So
Carlos doesn't do shows solo until he does shows solo.
There you
Right.
go.
I don't do solo unless I'm doing
like
solo.
a smooth operator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got that knack. He's got the gift of gab, I guess they call it, right? Yeah.
He does.
Yep.
He and former DJ, right, Carlos?
Yep. That was my first real gig. The good times. Put my wife through college.
I know it's getting late.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, through college. Cool.
That extra cash.
All right, Chris, appreciate it. As always,
Great.
thanks for calling, and hopefully we'll hear from you again next week.
Texas representing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sounds good, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, you too.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Yep.
All right, that's our buddy Chris out of Texas.
Pop and Tot.
Yes, Pop and Todd. So that takes us to the end of the show, gets us to the last little bits here. Rob, any final thoughts for the folks at home?
No, I'm still recovering from those board games. I don't got any thoughts.
So is Jim. Jim said he's still recovering too. So
Is it? Yeah.
Really?
It honestly.
He admitted it?
Yeah, it honestly took me 3 days. I was today was the first day I felt normal. So yeah.
Wayne, any final thoughts for the folks at home? I know we didn't get to go through our twigs for games played. I know you're just getting back from the Dragon Con.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to hearing maybe next week we'll catch up on that and also
we
do our
got
top 20.
top 20s and yeah, we can talk more about the retreat in Dragon Con. It was good. It's a good time.
Outside of that, any thoughts for the folks at home?
Nothing. Just have fun gaming.
Yep. I got to get this off my chest here. I know that we do a lot of board game stuff, so this is not usual for me, but it's been a pretty rough week. I really want to talk about how board games, they don't just give us something to do. They give us something to do together. Like, that's important to me because We need to appreciate how it brings us together at the table, no matter who you are, no matter what color you are, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter what creed you have. There was a man killed yesterday because he made himself available to have discussions with people that disagreed with him, with his beliefs. And this is America. We should not be okay with that. Like, we should not be celebrating this. There are some evil people out there, and we need to speak out against that, that no man should die for what they say. But more importantly, there's far more love in this world than there's hate, and we need to be reminded of that. That board games can help remind us of that, that we connect together, people from all different nationalities. I've had so many people at this table that put their feet under this very table, and the major majority of them disagree with me wholly on all sorts of topics. My closest friends, the people who I hold dearest and closest, disagree with me wholly on the majority of topics. But you know what? We can game together. We can be agreeable and have fun, because this is how we game. And that's my call out. This is how we game together, no matter who you are. So just know you're appreciated, you're loved. God bless you. God bless your families. Pray for this nation on this September 11th. You are appreciated, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Night, everybody.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.